And now we're on to Riddle on the Rails. Last we saw is our brother had showed up into Mycroft, had showed up into our house, and wanted us to do something for him, and we said no. And then he said, okay, but you just let me know when you get back. As in, he knows we're going to want to do something. All right, so, and then he had left. So now we're about to go to the train. He already apparently let the train know that we're going to be 5 to 8 minutes late. Everything going on with you? Grandpa having health issues? Yep. Passed on the 20th. My condolences, Nate. I'm sorry to hear that. This is the first time you guys say to somebody you've said goodbye to someone. You know what? I'm really happy to hear that part at least. Because being able to be there and say your goodbyes, actually get some closure before it happens, it does make a world of difference. Like when my Guido passed, Ukrainian word for grandpa, I unfortunately hadn't seen him for years, and I did like him, but I hadn't seen him for a long time, and then all of a sudden it was very quick, just like boop 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 gone, and because he was in another province, I didn't get a chance to go over there. We had gotten word that his health was failing, so I had made plans for work within the next week to go down there to go at least visit and say goodbye. But then suddenly, boop, nope. Within a day or two, suddenly it turned worse, and then he passed. So I was like, oh. So that was rather crappy. So I'm really happy to hear that you were at least able to be there and say goodbye. It sucks that you had to go through that. I'm sorry. And the 1400 was the whole PC. Ooh, okay. Well, with 1400, you could get a decent amount.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Especially if you get sales.
Please call a cab while I pack my suitcase. We should be late for the train.
Well, what about Toby?
Look after Mrs. Hudson for us, Toby.
Oh, Mrs. Hudson, right.
Yeah. Watson, I'll hold a cab for us. We leave in 5 minutes for the station.
1 week later. Now, in terms of the PC, Nate, did you kind of make it more of a gaming PC, multi-purpose PC? Like, did you splurge a lot on the GPU, CPU? Yep, graphics card through the PC. I found that the graphics card and the CPU, GPU, those are the pretty much 2/3 of the cost of the PC, if not more, depending on how high-end you're doing it. RAM can be a little pricey, but it's not that bad. Motherboard is not too bad, but it's still... Motherboard can almost be as much as the CPU.
Inside the waiting hall.
Since the station master told us that the train is about to arrive, we should not have to wait very much longer.
Yes,
oh, AMD, okay.
Last.
Attention! The train is arriving at the station. Please.
Yeah, sure. If you want, send me a DM.
From the platform
I like looking at parts. I'm sorry.
I'll take your bags and your blasted archive suitcase.
Crap! How much bags do they need?
But Holmes, the headlight, it's faded away.
Something is wrong. I can't hear any sound from the incoming train.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain what has happened?
I don't know. It's as if the train vanished into thin air.
Holmes, say something.
Quick, fetch a lantern and let us take a look.
Intriguing.
It's too dark. Only fog
2 8
and
gigs. That's
rails,
not bad.
Nothing else.
There is no use in stumbling around here at night. We will come back tomorrow.
The next morning, very early. I've tried to get into Ark, and I can't. It's tough. I don't know why, but there's just something about Ark. Oh wow, that was having some issues loading in. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's loaded.
Well, here we are again at Evesham Station. We have a full day ahead. Let us begin our investigation.
Solve the mystery of the vanished train. Inspect the rails where the train vanished. PS4 was running 20 FPS. Ooh. I mean, yeah, moving from a console to a PC experience with a decent build, you're going to notice such a big difference. And not to mention mod support. Oh, those are the ways to exit. Okay, then. Solid 50 FPS. Mmm, delicious. And then, of course, you have a bit more graphics options as well to play around with to get that higher
What
if
should
you
we do next?
so wish. See, that's what I'm looking for. There's nothing wrong here. Ah, yes, I like to run around in first person. Forgot about that. Higher graph. Awesome. I will take a look at that after
First
stream.
of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
Where they can refill on water. Yeah, they want me to. Ooh, this is where I'm imagining.
This is the place where we saw the train vanish last night.
Railway sleepers. Nothing unusual.
What about this
A
empty bottle?
discarded item, possibly thrown from the train. There are no tracks or footprints on the ground. The rails have not been touched. There's nothing unusual here. There are no signs to indicate that the train ran off the track, nor are there any other traces. There is nothing whatsoever. There are no clues. But then, a negative result is also a result.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No clues and you're smiling.
Yes, Watson, I do smile on occasion. This mystery appears very promising.
Intriguing.
This investigation won't be
Most
simple.
watched.
We shall require a map of the region.
Perhaps the station master could lend us one. Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
Well, for one, it probably didn't disappear. There was no train at all. It was but a person coming down with a lantern to make them think that there was a train. And then they snuffed the lantern.
Good morning. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Yes, I remember you. I'm Station Master Everett. You were here last night. So, you are Mr. Holmes, the great detective. Will you be investigating what happened?
I shall indeed.
Already have been.
It is extraordinary that an entire train could disappear like that. And to think of all the poor people inside it, the passengers, the driver.
That's a good point. Let's check him out. Oh, pocket watch? No. Oh, dirty. Spots of earth. Oh, he's married. His wedding ring, yeah. Nice buttons. Ooh, honorary badge. Cool beans, cool beans. I still think up here should be something. Apparently there isn't. Oh. Fully gray hair. Ah. So about the information about that train.
Could you please give us any details about the train?
Well, there was nothing so very special about it. At least not that I can recall. My memory's not what it used to be. However, if you need it, you can have the train composition report. It's inside my office.
How about this railway map? Give it to me.
I would be glad to have a detailed map of the local railway district.
But of course, please, take the one that's pinned inside the waiting hall.
See you later, my good man.
Yes, my good man. Ooh, what's this? Chronicle. Oh, okay, that's... See, I got it right. Is this the one that's pinned? No. Is it in here? Oh, no worries, Nate. Enjoy the arc because, let's be honest, when you get something brand new, you're going to get lost in it for a while, especially when it's jumping up from that 20 to 50, increased graphics and so on. Oh, you're going to be having fun just running around
This
in that.
map will be useful.
Oh, I half expected a hidden thing behind it. I now have evidence. Excellent. So next, we need to find more information about the vanished train.
The whole train just
That is... Nope. Move it, Watson. Outside. Damn it. No! Ah, okay. Why, Zatran, I do declare, how are you doing? You were playing Eco quite late that one night. Oh my. And Slendyman. Cheers, cheers, and welcome. Today we are solving the mystery of a mysterious train disappearance. He was like a super fast bird fly. Oh, yeah, especially when it's going to be... I can't imagine that. It'd be chopping so much. 20 FPS? Ooh. Now that I have an Xbox X, I actually kind of want to get a better TV. Something that, you know, can actually use it. So what if I go Evesham? Can I? Oh, I thought I don't get to go back to my... What other details we have here? What can we find? How is VV is quite well today so far, to be honest. Ooh, Office 2. A telegram. Message to all stations. Mr. Robinson is located at Bridgeton Station.
a new telegram.
I think we should meet this Mr. Robinson.
Okay. What about this? Line Nottingham, London. Type. Composition locomotive, coal car, first class, postal wagon, special. Oh, special wagon ordered by.
Here is the train set.
I wonder what's in that special car.
A telegraph.
And how about Slander? What's Slander been up to? I've been doing a lot of ranked games in League of Legends, and my mating support this season. It's nothing but support games 100% of the time so far. And of that, I have almost a 70% win rate. I'm very excited. Started down at the bronze 5, all the way already up to silver 1. Doing super good. Dailies and WoW. Playing Resident Evil. Oh boy. Tell me about the special wagon.
According to the train composition report, there was a special wagon. What does that entail?
That's a highly secure car, ordered by a private party. It is generally to carry something of value. Those wagons have iron walls, you know, without any windows. And they're fitted with a complex key lock.
That is important information. Do you know what was inside this particular wagon?
Certainly not. No, that's private, and it's not my responsibility to allot the wagons to whoever.
Good to know. How about the passengers?
Was there anything exceptional about any of the passengers aboard the train?
What do you mean? Like officials? I wouldn't know. Oh, but now that you mention it, yes, there was something. There was a message from Bridlington station saying that the train had been delayed because of an issue with the passengers. What kind of problem that they didn't say?
That is interesting.
Tell me about this Bridlington station.
You mentioned a problem at Bridlington station. I should like to visit this station. Could you mark it on the local map?
Of course. It's a suburban railway station. You might take a cab there.
See you later, my good man.
Good, now we just have to find that Robinson fellow. Probably in the waiting hall, I do declare. Ooh, junk pile. I'm finding more clues.
An old locomotive bell. This part is probably from a locomotive. This place serves as a storage area for the station. This part is probably from a locomotive.
Oh, look at me finding... Be like, oh yeah, there's locomotive parts in here, alright. I am so smart. Where is Mr. Robinson? That's right, back up! You would think it would those gents over there. Unless he's at Bridlington. Could be. Open deductions. Ooh. I don't think we have anything yet.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
That is a good question, my dear Watson. One that I aim to solve. You, talk to me. Alas, he turns the other way. He is refusing to acknowledge me. Hello? I just want to smoke in peace, man. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Can I go in here? I see, I see. I gotta say, Slander, you seem like quite the busy fellow playing Final Fantasy XIV and doing dailies there, as well as WoW. Whew. Oh, so what? I don't get to go inside here? Booze. Booze. Hey, hey, what are you doing? Running on the tracks. See, nothing of import in here. Well, looks like we're not snooping through the mail. Okay, fine. There's somebody, a bunch of people in here. Ooh. Okay. I want to finish looking around outside first, though. Oh, never mind. That is everything. Right then. Angry passenger. Uh-oh.
This is an absolute scandal. It's always the same with these rail companies. No respect for the customer.
Don't they subsidy farm enough gold? Yeah, that's always been really nice. I do enjoy when games can do that. I think EVE Online was the very first MMO that I personally played that had flex that you could buy through in-game gold. Or ISK, I should say. But it's their in-game currency. And then I thought that was really cool. It takes a while to do, but you could do it. And then when I heard World of Warcraft was doing that, I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I can do that too. Maybe I'll play World of Warcraft more if that happened. But then, so far behind and didn't have much gold anyways that, yeah, no, it's like, it would take too long. And I didn't care anymore. I just couldn't play it. Ooh. Work clothes, a cheap ticket. He's married. And rough skin, so he's worked a cheap Cold War. What do you mean by that? Like as in somebody wanted gold, but they had a Cold War code, and so they sold it for the gold. They're like, I need more gold in World of Warcraft, man. I need it. Here, take this code. What happened?
Please calm down, sir. What is your concern?
Concern? What is my concern? I'll tell you what my concern is. Last night, I were on the train as usual with my colleague, heading home. Then along came this ridiculous ticket inspector, who started arguing that our tickets were invalid. He made us get off the train, and he was extremely rude about it.
That is very interesting. I didn't realize you could have it towards the balance. Huh.
Were you aboard the train that vanished last night?
Yes, I heard that it disappeared. But I don't care because we would have stopped before then anyway. Our tickets were valid and no doubt about it. And then, to top it all, the ticket inspector pushed everyone else out too, except for a bunch of rich. Well, of course their type don't need a ticket.
Portrait of the rich.
Can you recall anything more specific about this fortunate group?
Well, yes. They were all foreigners. Spanish-looking toffs with snake eyes.
The merry men, I
Goodbye,
bet.
sir.
So they got off all the poor people, so this way there's less people to manage. So it was an inside job. Ooh. But Destiny 2 with gold. Well, dang. That makes me very curious. I mean, so do you have a lot of gold saved up for when Diablo 4 eventually comes out?
Good day to you, sir.
Good day. To whom am I speaking?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is...
Are you a representative of this damned railway company? Because I have a complaint.
We are not from the railway company. We are...
Well, in that case, Mr. Shamrock Flomes, please excuse me, but I'm not in the mood for idle chit-chat at the moment.
So, one thing we noticed is he has multiple chins. He's an Australian art, eh? Expensive clothes. Big gut. Fancy shoes of crocodile skin. Ooh, what is this attaché here? And a heavy gold ring. Mr. Robinson.
You must be Mr. Robinson, is that correct?
Yes?
I am leading the investigation of the disappearing train. It would help if you could answer my questions.
Ah, well, all right. I have nothing to hide.
Tell me about this special wagon.
I presume it was you who placed the order for the special wagon.
Yes. It was to transport my valuable prototype safely to London. My
Prototype?
prototype is a revolutionary device. It is capable of producing electricity. I'm a businessman and an engineer. I had already found several potential customers for my invention, but I was very optimistic about the directors' board who were travelling on the train last night.
But were you on the train?
Mr. Robinson, could you please clarify? Were you traveling alongside your prototype?
Yes, I was. But I had to step off the train. And all because of this stupid station master.
I received a telegram declaring that an important person, a Mr. Bromsby, wished to see you in the waiting room. I merely informed you of this.
Mr. Bromsby is a wealthy gentleman. His interest in my invention was truly unexpected. So yes, of course, I agreed to see him.
He wasn't here.
Unfortunately, he wasn't there. I thought perhaps he might have been delayed, so I chose to wait a while. But despite my requests, the train left the station without me. Absolutely unacceptable.
The timetable is strict. We cannot wait any longer. The regulations require the train to be on time.
You are an idiot. You will pay for it. I will sue you.
Of course you would sue. Company direction.
You mentioned a director's board. Which company do they own?
Directors, not
The
direction.
Chilean Barcazas Company. I had made an appointment with them. Now they are lost, along with the train and my prototype.
What do you know about the Barcazas Company?
It's a large South American company. They showed a great deal of interest in my prototype, and they seemed wealthy enough to do business with.
Seemed. Does he not know much about them? Prototype value.
This revolutionary machine of yours, was it very valuable?
For God's sake, sir, it is priceless. It could change the world we live in, and yet I was selling it for almost nothing. I am a humanitarian, you see. I do not know if I will ever be able to get over this disaster. I cannot believe that it disappeared with that damned train.
The ticket inspector forced all the passengers from the train except for the directors of the Barcazas Chilean Company.
So I can make one deduction. Train vanished with people except for the Chileans. I said the Chileans stay on the train was just a coincidence. The train conductor overlooked them. Directors of the Chilean Barclays company were intentionally left on the train. The controller removed all passengers from them. Yes, I think that they were left on purpose. But why?
I will not move from here until I receive my refund.
That's the real question. Alright, so let's look around for clues in here first.
Telegraph.
Before we go into detective vision. Oh, that was odd because there's... Oh, gap in the floor. Oh, sheet of paper. I see it right there.
The insurance policy for Robinson's machine. A significant sum.
Insurance organized by Thomas L. Robinson for his prototype called the Autonomous Electricity Generator. This policy partially covers the loss of the prototype up to 50% of its value. Maximum cover amount, £15,000. Insurance duration, 1 year renewable. As of right now, I believe Thomas Robinson hired the whatevers, if it's the Merry Men or those Chileans, to abscond with the prototype. But what is that document doing over there?
Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you?
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I am investigating the unfortunate disappearance of last night's train.
I see. I'm Station Master Bertram, but my supervisor has not informed me about this. I do not know if...
Do not worry. I have only a few questions.
Seems like he likes to follow orders to the T. So if his supervisor is in on it, he is young and unsure. Forward. Got clean clothes. Quite immaculate, it's true. Instructions, so he's not fully sure of himself. And ink smudges. What was the problem with the passengers?
Station Master Everett from Evesham told us that you reported a problem with some passengers last night.
Indeed. This train is a regular line for those who work at Nottingham. But yesterday, everyone was asked to get off the train here at my station. I've no idea why, and it delayed the train. But the worst of it is that now I have to deal with 2 furious passengers who are complaining about the company's service. They stayed here the whole night, but people
wow.
do not usually pay much attention to the regulations, you see. There are very strict and clear rules. Paragraph 234 of Article 2G-43 states that in the event of a complaint, you must...
Yes, thank you. I understand.
He probably could only recall that from memory because he was dealing with it right then. Anything unusual yesterday?
Apart from the passengers disembarking, did you notice anything else that was unusual last night?
I did, and I mentioned it in my report to our higher management on the matter.
What was it?
Sorry, but I can't tell you. The station master's reports are confidential.
Confidential, you say? How long have you been working here?
I have worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Insurance policy, railway map, train composition. Yeah, you're a rookie station master, bro.
Let me speak frankly, Mr. Bertram. Your age and your lack of confidence in your position are quite apparent. You cannot deny that you have only recently completed your studies.
I was at the top of my class.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
And you are obstructing the investigation of an important case. I would suggest that you cooperate with Mr. Holmes. Think of your career.
Ah, that is... Well, I'll tell you everything.
Excellent.
First of all, I
Yeah.
scolded the ticket inspector, for it was he who asked the passengers to leave the train. It was not his right to do so. He was very rude. And then, later on, I received a most peculiar telegram from my colleague at Chesterfield Station, the next stop along the line.
Tell me about this strange message.
What did the telegram say?
Well, that was the peculiar thing. It was almost unreadable.
Hmm?
It was full of errors and awfully vague. It was hard to understand if the train had correctly passed that station or not. You can read it for yourself.
We ought to visit Chesterfield Station. We need to confirm if the station master saw the train or not.
Chesterfield, Levy, wow. Right. What in the world? That's probably someone... For the telegrams, I believe they're sent in Morse code, correct? If that's the case, that was probably sent from somebody who doesn't know Morse code. Yeah, this is a Morse code machine. Okay. As such, that's why it was riddled with errors. Okay, tell me about your insurance policy.
According to this document, you have insurance for your prototype.
Oh, thank God. Where did you find it?
Near the telegraph station.
I must have lost it when I tried to send a message, which I was prevented from
I
doing.
apologise for that, but regulations state that public access to the telegraph is strictly prohibited.
Upon my word, you keep on digging that hole of yours. You have no idea who I am.
Important grip sack.
I see that you kept your grip sack with you. Why don't you leave it in the luggage room?
I've had other things to think about. I lost my prototype. And this idiot station master just stands here doing nothing to help.
Oh, but...
Well, that won't do at all. Station master, I believe that the regulations state that any passenger luggage should be taken to the luggage room.
I'll do it right away, sir. Sorry, sir.
This Robinson is quite a character. We should learn more about him.
Oh, Sherlock. Yeah, examine his luggage. Yeah.
I will not move from here.
It's a scandal.
I knew he had done that expressly.
Don't touch anything, please.
So this way I can go snoop through it. To the luggage. Alright, where is that? Postal
Railway
bags.
post bags. This gripsack belongs to Mr. Robinson.
I think we should open it, Holmes. This is what they call force majeure. I'll keep watch.
Of
Who's
course.
the OG Snoop Dogg? Oh, he's snooping around all right. Oh, goodness. I've got to do this little tumble thing. Alrighty. I still don't fully understand. Okay. Okay, so I don't believe it's that one. Would be this one. Yeah, boy. Just like magic, I did it. Business papers.
Look, Watson, a bundle of contracts. Very suspicious. We should study them carefully.
Contract. This is an exclusive sales contract. Considering the multiple contracts
An exclusive sales contract.
regarding the prototype invention dedicated to appliance supplying electricity in an autonomous way. Emits an electric company. The buyer understands that they are purchasing the device as is and are in agreement. Mr. Thomas L. Robinson
Mr. Robinson is the seller.
is not responsible for any problems that may arise with the prototype after the purchase. Whether or not those issues were known by either party at the time of purchase, the buyer is obligated to make repayment in amount of 10% of the prototype price in advance upon signing of the contract. The remainder shall be transferred within 1 month term. And another exclusive sales contract.
Yet another exclusive sales contract.
The prototype, exact same thing, except to a Hong Kong General Electric company. Also from Mr. Thomas
is
Robinson.
the seller.
Same thing. Otherwise, it's the exact same wording. And another
Yet
exclusive.
another exclusive sales contract.
This time to the Chilean company that bought. Yep. Archaeus Chilean company.
Mr. Robinson is the seller.
Another
Yet
exclusive.
another exclusive sales contract.
To Medicine General.
Mr. Robinson is the seller. Well, it is very clear that this Mr. Robinson received prepayments from various people for his machine.
So we have. Prototype has insurance. And many customers? No. Okay. Alright, Robinson's motive. The loss of the prototype will bring a lot of easy money to Mr. Robinson thanks to the insurance and multiple fraudulent exclusive contracts. The loss of the machine is a disaster for Mr. Robinson. Even though he planned this fraud, he has lost more than he could gain. The insurance will not cover the total cost? Heck no. That's his motive. Because the wording of those contracts is he had to get paid up front 10% of each of those things, and then the wording was specifically said, anything that happens after, not my fault. Okay. So far, Mr. Robinson's pretty guilty.
This Robinson fellow seems suspicious to me.
And with it being stolen, he now no longer needs to provide the actual thing, invention to each of these buyers. It just, oh, sorry, I guess that's that.
It's a scandal.
I will.
Okay. And now we are to... I wonder who this person is. Oh, we'll be met in the current case. Ooh. Oh, wow, we're going to meet a few people. All right, so then we were supposed to go to Chesterfield. Because we've explored everything that we need there. We've deduced much. I do declare that this station looks mighty fine. Ooh, look at this, just leaving a bike right here unlocked with a powered light on the front. Oh boy. The trust. Oops, wrong button. And nothing there. Check around the sides first. Any additional clues? Nothing. Perfect. Oh. Aha!
A handcar wheelbase.
That's what I thought.
Interesting. It appears that elements of the same construction were scattered everywhere.
I think they use this. The showcase of
Watson,
RE8?
please
No.
tell me, do you believe in magic?
Of course not, Holmes.
Then you are of the opinion that a train cannot simply disappear.
Well, we both know that that is obvious. Why are you asking such peculiar questions?
A little patience, Watson. You will understand my point quite soon. So, are you quite certain that you saw the train at Evesham Station?
No.
Yes, of course. We saw it coming. The headlights. And heard the whistle.
And car.
But that is it. We didn't see the train itself.
But... Oh, Holmes, I'm a little confused.
Loading screens. Oh boy. No traces of the train. Spare parts. The dismantled handcar seems directly connected to our mystery. Reconstruct the handcar to see if you can imitate the vanished train. It's true. Yeah, no, I have not been looking anything. I know there's a demo, I think. What? Unless something's like, you know what? No, I don't think. Usually, I don't follow game news. So this way, when I get to a game and get to play it, it is a completely fresh experience for me. I'm not going like, oh, where's this content? Or knowing that certain things are coming. I will watch some trailers at the beginning, just like the reveal trailers, and then that's about it. That will pique my interest. Excuse me. Like Medium, when it was first showed a reveal trailer and so on, I was like, ooh, this looks interesting, so I'm looking forward to that. It is coming out in 5 days. I have it preloaded and ready to go. Alright, so. And mechanism
I
joint.
should use the appropriate object here.
And
I should
base.
use the appropriate object here.
Oh, so do I? Oh, okay. So I actually have to build? Ah. Look at me! Oh yeah, over this way.
I should use the...
Yeah, fine, whatever. Handlebar goes up top. Oh, rotate. There we go. Beauty. So small gear. And the small gear housing. What else we got here? Brakes. Oh, that would be important.
I should use...
Oh, brake joints. There we go. Is there any other pieces? Hello? Pieces? I mean, there's the land. Turn right there.
I should use.
Ah, plank. Yes? No? Hmm? They're pretty scarce in the showcase. Don't mind. Show some gameplay. Nice. I did... Oh my gosh, that wooden board right over there. It looked like part of the floor.
So, now here we have the fake train that we saw approaching Evesham Station last night.
Doesn't look much like a
Dinner
train to
time?
me.
Enjoy, Nate.
Be patient, Watson. I haven't finished yet. Try using your imagination. Our train requires only a headlight and a steam whistle.
Steam whistle. In which case we have a headlight with dynamo motion. And steam train whistle. Whistle. Anything else to look at while we're here? A long pole. Sure, I'll take the long pole. Why not? Who knows when we'll use it? Ooh, and a fire extinguisher, baby. Ah, to make the... It looks like nothing else.
This Robinson fellow seems suspicious to me.
Ooh, snap. So we're going to connect the headlight.
I need some.
Okay, so I guess we need the place
The
the long
long
pole.
pole is now attached. It will allow us to connect the headlight. The headlight is attached.
And
The steam whistle is now connected.
Holmes, what can we do to make the steam whistle work?
It is elementary, my dear Watson. We shall need a fire extinguisher.
Which I happen to
The fire
have.
extinguisher. Now let us see what we have here. First of all, let us pump the pressure inside the extinguisher. First of all,
Ooh. Oh,
this.
oops.
Watson, I do believe that we have created an exact replica of the train that vanished in front of us last night. The criminal mind can be most inventive. I am somewhat in awe.
So such a thing is possible. If someone went to all the trouble of creating this fake train, then it was surely with the intention of stealing the real one.
Ah, Watson, you should not jump to conclusions. In fact, this does not tell us very much at all, except that the train did not evaporate into thin air.
Although you half suspected it.
At any rate, we now need to find where the real train might be hidden. I suggest we use my archives to find a more detailed map of our surroundings.
Well, I hope that justifies our having to load your massive archive suitcase onto the cab. It made us extremely unpopular with our driver.
So it's with us. We have another deduction. So spare parts of a handcar and the fake train. Surely the train never reached Evesham. It disappeared earlier and was faked by somebody using a handcar and spare train parts from Chesterfield Station. Just true, just true. Alright, so we found it all we needed in here.
Locked.
Oh, the 30-second delays. Special.
A fishing advertisement.
I can't handle ever trying.
This bin
To use
is
on
full
mobile.
of empty bottles.
Oh god, this guy doesn't look very trustworthy at all. Morse code alphabet.
I had thought that all station masters knew the Morse code, but apparently not.
A telegraph.
Ooh, look at this. That looks pretty tasty. That boy phenol? I'm not sure. They messaged me earlier to double check that the stream was indeed on tonight. I said yep, same time. So I assume something came up. Maybe they ended up having a really tough day because when I stream, it's like 3 a.m. for Vino. It's super late. So maybe they had a rough day, needed to go to bed, not stay up so late. Which case, props on them for going to bed at a decent time.
How could he fall asleep at work like this? Excuse me, sir. Wake up.
Did he fall asleep or is he drunk?
Ah, his breath. He must have swallowed half a distillery.
And that explains the how.
Yeah, and then we have slander here.
Wake up, please, sir.
What? The 18-hour-72 train has arrived?
Good day to you. We are investigating the disappearance of last night's train, and we should like to ask you a few questions.
Let's take a look at him first. 1, he's quite blushed. He's got the red nose. Starting the day before the previous one ends, exactly. But his clothes are clean. Excuse me. Everybody's married this time around, apparently. Oh, there's the alcohol flask. Oh, what's this? A fishing line. But why? Train passengers.
Were there any passengers who got off that particular train at your station last night?
No, nobody, it seems to me. Although I did not leave my office, so...
No doubt you were very busy.
You don't say. You can't ever get any peace around here. Now you have to send a telegram each time a train arrives and departs.
What about this strange message?
Station Master Bertram from Bridlington showed me a strange telegram that he received from you last night. It concerned the train, but it was barely comprehensible.
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
What about this binge drinking?
You were not tired, you were inebriated. Tell me the truth now, or I shall not hesitate to document your state in my report.
My friend means that you will end up by being sacked from your position.
All right. So I was drunk. I don't remember all of yesterday, to be truthful with you. Please don't go harsh on me.
Holmes, this man has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol. He's not entirely helpless yet, but...
It will not be long before he is. Obviously, his testimony cannot be trusted.
Yep. She passed the Chesterfield station despite her being unsure if the station master sent the report. The train never passed the Chesterfield station. The station master was drunk and his testimony seems unreliable. He could have sent the report without witnessing the train. I mean, it could have, but at the same time. Oh. So the vanished earlier. The train could have vanished a while ago. And with it being late, if they knew he was drunk, they could have just passed the station with that fake train. And then he's like, yeah, passed. Choo-choo. He didn't even get out.
Ah, will I ever get any peace?
Thought I saw something. Okay, maybe not. I must admit, I am rather
Locked.
curious about this.
There is no sense in asking the station master to open it. We shall have to pick the lock.
I mean, we could have also just asked for the key, right? Alright, let's see. Looks like we only have this one part here. So then we will, oops. Go like this. And voila. Right? Oh, not quite. Turns out there was another line. Boom. The guy's obviously drunk, so our culprit knew. Yep, delivered a whiff of booze, knew he'd pounded it. That makes sense to me. And knowing that he wouldn't look for the train.
These tools were used quite recently. They are still muddy. We should ask about them.
Like he'll know about it.
Railway post bags.
Alright, so what's happening? Floor scratches.
Bags were recently dragged here.
Hello there.
French wine. A remarkable vintage. These bottles are too expensive for a station master's wage. They were likely taken from the parcels.
Shameful.
Hmm. Your cold is soon gone. Yes! Only dry skin. Oh, I hate that dry skin. Hey, winter here is very dry as well for me, so that's why you see me putting on my Blistex balm. And during the stream sometimes, it's like... It needs to get done. Oh, Mr. Zookeeper Chris, hello and welcome. How you doing? Did you get placed in League yet? I'm up to Silver 1 now. I'm excited. And I've actually gotten many compliments about my Sarah playing. Which I'm not used to getting compliments for a support role. Gorilla Chronicles yesterday. There was another burning. I hate that so much. The part, like when you have that burning throat and there's nothing you can do, and then because you have that runny nose, you're swallowing more often because the snot's running down the back of your throat, and so it hurts even more. And it's just this constant.
You have quite a number of dirty tools lying around here.
Ah, yes. Well, thank you for reminding me. I should clean them. Although, might be easier to put them outside. Seems it might start raining soon.
I meant, what were they used for?
Some workers come here and borrowed them from me. They wanted to lift the edge of the railway to one of the stations on the line, so that the water wouldn't come in too close.
The workers?
Who were these workers?
Well, they didn't seem to be from the company, but they was fine lads. They invited me to share a drink. And whatever it was, it had a kick to it. They wasn't English. No, I don't believe so. But see, they knew just what a man needed to brighten up his dull evening. Ah, will I ever get any peace?
A fake train. Ha! What a clever and devilish trick.
All right, so yeah, Nate, you money right on the nose there. All right. So we need to search the archives. I believe it was Evesham that had my archives. Now, I'm curious, would they have actually drugged him? Or was it actually just they got him really drunk? There's Mr. Chris, I believe you were, what, one game away from being placed or something? I have like a 70% win rate myself, so I am hoping that once I get up to that promotion part, that I can skip up to gold without having to go through this series again. That would be amazing.
The entire train has disappeared.
Okay, where's my bags? Ah, there we go. They're at the back of the buggy. Okay. Gonna try and find an alien. Yeah, I was sitting
Now
up
we
there
have
flying
two
in my
maps.
stuff for a long
We must
time.
combine them properly.
Oh, I actually have to go find... Oh, intriguing. Oh, I think I found it.
Here it is. There is a side branch to the railway. Its first switch is located between Bridlington and Chesterfield stations. There is one more station to be visited. It is located between Chesterfield and Evesham, and there should be a side railway to the nearby quarry. There is a small section of a railway at the end of Evesham station.
Oh, so we have to find out where.
This suitcase contains my archives. We can consult with it if needed. It is fortunate that we took it with us.
Railway switch. All right, so I think Bridlington was the one with the drunk guy. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Bridlington was the one with the uptight dude who's very fastidious about records and everything. Yep. Perfect. Okay, good.
I will.
Perfect. Okay. So that means beef and carrot stew for dinner and chocolate ice cream. Not too shabby. I had a couple slices of some deluxe pizza, mixed vegetables, and then I made some brownies yesterday with chocolate chips. I had that for dessert. And then this morning I made chocolate chip pancakes, so there was a lot of chocolate chips today. It was delicious. Alright, so let's check this railway switch first. I honestly believe that they went to the quarry here. Oh, or not. No, they might have done the switch here. Because they got here, they unloaded everyone. Then if the workers borrowed the tools, and the fake thing was over here that we were able to put together, then they would be like, choo choo, yeah, it totally passed. And then it disappeared before our station. No, wait, this was our station. Yeah, we haven't visited this one yet, so we can't draw any conclusions quite yet. The train could have passed through Chesterfield. Alright, so here's the switch.
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
Okay. And then it goes off to the mines. Oh. So what, that was just me seeing if the switch worked. Okay.
Mines. This is interesting.
Okay. Yep. so it could have gone to the
It would be
mines.
quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines.
All right, let's go check out those mines. Workers buried somebody. Ooh, maybe. I think they buried the
Here are the
contraption.
mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned. A fake train. Ha! What a clever and devilish trick. This is an administrative panel. See what it says.
Let's put the board right back on that.
Watson, you are a gentleman, and gentlemen tend to carry handkerchiefs. Might I borrow yours?
And where is your own?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Very well. Here it is.
Ooh, it's a coal mine. We a coal company?
WEA Coal. These mines belong to them.
Vehicle trade. Oh, hello.
Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting here. Nothing. The distance between the tracks is about 4 feet 8 inches. A lightly loaded vehicle came this way.
Slightly loaded.
There is a wooden beam lying on the rails. A small vehicle with wooden beams went down this way.
What do you usually play in it, Nate? What rule? So a vehicle did come in here.
This mine has completely collapsed, Holmes.
It is curious, but to be truthful, I am not entirely surprised.
It's difficult to follow you, Holmes.
Empty place. Traces on the ground. Missing rails.
Someone removed these screws, most probably to take down the rails. A few feet of the rails have been dismantled.
So is this fresh? Collapsed mine. Pile of stones. Paper package. Oh, hello, paper package. Strange box.
This is an unusual kind of paper, stiff and dry. It was used for a specific purpose. Let us look inside.
Sawdust.
Sawdust. I am almost certain it is a... Watson, could you assist, please? Do you have your pistol? Good. Fire at this package.
Will explode. Eco mid lane or jungle. Oh. And slander to top or jungle. Very nice. Well then.
Dynamite.
Zilman, mines were collapsed to hide the train. Dynamite was used after the train was moved inside. It could be either of them, eh? I'm thinking concealment, though. Lance. Hello, how you doing? Hope things are going well with you. Lance with any roll. Ooh. Yeah, usually I did a fill. I used to, when I first played, I was all about being middle. And then I went jungle, then ADC. Top lane was the only role that I was always had a rough time with. because I have terrible luck. So what happens is I would always get camped all the time, and then my jungler would never come to help, or they'd come way too late. It's like, okay, well, things are done here. It's too late. I've lost the lane. Go get other places fed. And then I'd cry. Hey guys, main 3 champs if you want to grow. Also, you guys. Top 20 busted. Yeah. Well, but you see, the thing is, of those top 20 busted ones, you need to find 3 that will fit within your preferred role. And then 3 of those other 17 for your secondary role. ADC, yes. I gotta say though, I mean, I don't have a team either, Nate, so you know that's how it is. Solo all the way, baby. As a support main, when you find an ADC that is a great synergy with you, oh, it is a thing of beauty.
This is the cabin for the mine's security personnel.
But yeah, Lance, this game is... I enjoy how they have it. You're looking for clues, you're making deductions, you're detecting things, having conversations. It's a very nice... I like how they've done it. Hello? Oh, there we go.
This box must be the safe. Let's open it.
Risk management is horrible. It does take some practice, I gotta say. And you can tell with some ADCs. My problem is I like to play very safe. And when I'm with an ADC that's super aggressive, it's like, oh my gosh, no. I'm just poking them until they get low enough, and I'm trusting you to realize when you can go. I'm not trying to make picks here, but sometimes they go in and they're not ready yet. It's just, oh my goodness. Yeah, fun at 1 out of every 8. Ooh. It's tough. I think I do a lot better in support because I'm really good at helping enable and finding the proper support. Oh god, that's the important thing. A lot of people I'm finding, especially lower leagues here, they try to pick the carries. So things like Brand, Senna, Lux, where all they're offering is tons of damage and not much else. Maybe a little bit of CC, like Lux does have a snare and a little bit of a slow with her E, but they're hoping that they can just carry with the damage and so on. And so I'm playing Sarah because I have shields with my W, I have snares and slows with my E, I have my ultimate can charm their entire team if I hit it properly, plus she does a good deal of damage. So you gotta pick the people that can do things. Like Zyra supports, I understand those, because she's got a good snare, she's got her ult to knock people up.
The Mexican company Caracas
And she can do good
and the
damage.
Chilean Barcazas both want to buy the mines. I need more information. Perhaps Mycroft could help.
Interesting. Instructions to all WEA Colt personnel. We inform you that representatives of the Barcazas group are granted free access from now on. Company, the future owner of the mines. Also starting from today, a no trespassing rule is upheld against any representative of the Caracal Consortium. Limited contract sale has been cancelled. Do not provide any explanation. This information is confidential. Ah. So those were the people that were allowed to be kept on the train. That one time with Tails Belief wasn't good. You guys oh yes, but unfortunately, it's also it's a little tough with on EU servers. I think I played just that one time on the EU servers there. I was like, no, I can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Gotta be something inside here. Or not. So we found explosives. We found that these were removed. And tools were indeed taken and used. They're dirty. That's good. Oh, okay. Examine the side railway branch leads to the quarry. And Evesham. So now we need to go see this station. So far, I'm pretty certain that it went into the mines. But we haven't visited this station yet and into the quarry. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at all the god rays.
Holmes, I don't understand. Why do you care so much about this business with the mines?
For very good reason,
This
Watson.
suitcase contains...
Yes, we already know it contains my archives. Ooh. This is Doncaster. Do you think you have an NA account? Oh, Sland, are you crazy? I hear over and over the EU has the better players, though. So I am definitely interested in that. I mean, I guess that is where Tails plays, right? So, you know.
Watson, would you like some tea?
No.
Just a simple no. No tea for me. I'm good. Oh, hello there.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. John Watson. We are investigating the case of the vanished train.
Is that so? Well, good day, gentlemen. I am Mr. Duff, the station master of this station. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can, but there's not much that I can tell you about last night.
There's no train. Let's check him out. Melancholy. Uh-oh. Why is he unhappy? No watch. He's missing a button. Oh, and a ring mark. Uh-oh, this is the first guy without a ring.
Did any passengers leave or board the train last night?
No. I saw no one as usual. I reported the train's passage by telegraph. Just the same as all the other nights.
Goodbye, sir.
Now we gotta go look around. We're going to find out that he wasn't even here last night. Or something. Ooh. Oh yeah, we were inside the warehouse already.
Holmes, look. There's a flooded area over here.
I believe that the flooded area might be worth checking.
Oh, it most likely would. But first...
Railway post bags.
Ooh, station master's bag.
This post bag belongs to the station master.
Uh-oh. Letter to wife. 7 Alpine Street, Besford. My darling, I ask you to trust me this time. I shall soon have more than enough money to repay the house mortgage. It's only a matter of days. You may continue living in the house without me, since that is your wish. Please know that I still care about you, and hope that you will forgive me one day, despite all the harm I have caused in recent years. Uh-huh. And to the lawyer.
The station master appears to have found himself in some financial trouble.
In reply to your last warning letter, I wish to assure you that I shall soon honor all the latest installments that I need to pay according to my debts. And so, yep, he was paid to pass on the message that the train passed here, even though it never did.
A funny character. He looks anxious.
We will take the cigar stub.
This scent is familiar to me, but in order to recognize it, I must combine my associations into one picture.
Okay, so the cigar smoke can go up and down. Usually, last time... Oh, and the mint leaves can go this way. All right. So we want a sombrero. There, like that. What does this do? Oh, that's for the band. Right, like that. Oh, I have to flip it this way then, I believe. Ooh. There we go. Oops. Leaves, yeah, they go like that. Okay. Come on. Come on, that's totally it, bro. Oh, that's totally it. Come on, man. Oh, it needs to be a bit more like this. That's why. Perfect.
A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. Ricardo.
You already know the name of this man? Holmes, you amaze me.
No, Watson, I refer to the cigar. It is a Ricardo Turrent, a Mexican cigar of an excellent quality. Quite an expensive one, too.
Why would he toss it like that? Ashtray. Piece of burnt paper. Ooh.
This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs. A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. These ashes and cigar stubs are similar to the one that we found on the floor. Some of the stubs were recently smoked. There are others that appear fairly old.
They've been here
means that
before.
the fellow spent several days here. Judging by his clothes, he's hardly a traveller or a tramp.
Well concluded, my dear fellow. A man who smoked the Ricardo brand of Mexican cigar spent several long days at Doncaster Station. Apparently, there was a conflict between the Mexicans and the Chileans. This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs.
I didn't see what it said, though. The letter. What about the Chileans? Oh, wait, burn note. Oh, no! Right here. Burn note was found on the ashtray on Doncaster Waiting Hall. Still has a few legible sentences that highlight a conflict between the Mexicans and Chileans. Think that they blah blah future right under our noses, must not blah. Said you did a crime, going to jail. I've got to get a jail out. Nope, I lost it. I couldn't say get out of jail free card fast enough. I'm in jail now. I'm sorry. Hello, Sheba. Please, please, man. Sorry. Just calm down. Relax. It's okay. You know, just put the gun down. Put it down. Everything's gonna be okay. Be okay. How you doing? What have you been up to today? So far, we are investigating a mysterious disappearing train. Horse race. Oh, he's a gambler.
Newspaper articles on horse racing. Hurdle, steeplechase, and flat racing He is a true enthusiast, Holmes.
Horse racing tickets. A betting ticket.
Betting slips for horse racing. The sums are quite impressive.
It can be
Work
an
weekend.
expensive vice. This man had probably used all his savings.
12-hour shifts. Oof. Yuck. No, thank you.
A telegraph.
Contact Moycraft.
I asked Mycroft to find out some information on the WEA Coal Company. Here is his reply, and it is an interesting one.
There are two companies, the Chilean Barcazas and the Mexican Caracal. Both wanted to purchase the WEA coal mines. The Mexican Caracal Consortium had established an initial deal and had prepared all the papers. However, the Chilean Barcazas group, aided by their influential connections, managed to snatch the concluding deal for the mines. Actually, it's held no grudge, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about that, but... Alright, so that should be everything there. I don't see anything else really to look at. Yeah, because that guy had left from here. Where did he go? It's gone. Like a ghost. Hmm. And then we already did all that. Alright, let's talk to this guy about some of the things we found. Oh, right. What about that flooded area? I was supposed
It
to look
appears
at
that you may be at risk of some flooding along the line here.
You mean that the whole bloody lake is at our feet?
Quite so. But it is strange, because according to my map, there should be a quarry here, and behind that, the lake.
How should I know? I only arrived here a few months ago.
And where did you work before that?
I was working in Nottingham, but I asked for a quieter place, so they transferred me here. Life is cheaper. I can't really complain.
Pangolins?
Goodbye, sir. It is obvious that we cannot inspect the quarry. Instead, we can check the beach area around the flooded lake.
Yes, that's what I wanted to go look at first. Okay, well, I expected, you know, a little something more. I'm not seeing a thing. Oh, look, beach. I can go to the beach? Wait, what? Oh. So there is also the chance that maybe it was flooded after. But no. Because look, the lines didn't go off that way, so... Unexpected beach. Rescue penguins live with people. Oh, interesting. You are
I
gambling
observe
man?
that you are a gambling man, Mr. Duff. You had hoped that your relocation to this small town might have helped ease your addiction, but it was not to be.
I beg your pardon. Addiction to what?
These horse racing tickets, fool.
We found a number of horse racing tickets inside your office. Well, well, we all have our weaknesses. An expensive obsession, surely, for a station master.
It is none of your business. I occasionally attend the races with my colleagues. And anyway, that's my private life.
And the Mexican.
There was a gentleman of Mexican origin, I believe, in the waiting room. Did you notice him?
What? A Mexican? Here in the back of beyond? Are you quite sure about that?
Goodbye, sir. Watson, it seems that both South American companies were involved in the purchase of the mine.
The man at Doncaster who flared our approach, he smokes Mexican cigars. Perhaps...
Yes, Watson. We should certainly speak with him.
I mean, we should if we could find him. Oh, goodness. So, the train passed through Doncaster Station. The train never passed through here. Station master lied and sent the false report. Perhaps he was a bribe with the money he desperately needed. I'm pretty certain that's what happened. Now it's too... They're throwing more and more odd things. 'Cause now I need to go to the beach.
Here we are at the beach that is located near the quarry and Doncaster Station. It doesn't look like a very good place to rest.
Heavy vehicle traces. Oops. Measurements.
The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep.
I don't see anything else to look at, so okay. Oops. Oh, so is there something else to look at?
The vehicle would have been... The vehicle...
I mean, oh, there we
The
go.
vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. It would have been quite heavy. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials.
Yeah, those damn stones. Boat trip
An
advertisement.
advertisement for lake cruises.
So this lake's been here for a while then. We got ourselves an outhouse. Busted wagon. Oh.
This place was abandoned fairly recently.
And yet there's a boot here and what looks to be like a blood splatter on this log. With an axe with blood on it.
Observing the coastline and the moored boats, we are able to see that the lake's water level dropped.
Just
The
catch
lake
up.
has flooded
Yeah.
the quarry. The dam was probably breached.
There's the coastline. Refuse left on the sand. Ooh, a metal plate. Las Zarpas.
A label with the name Las Zarpas.
Expect the beach is completed. Wait, what? Oh yeah, I'm looking at the ground. It looks like the breach happened pretty recently. Because it's still dark. Okay, let's go search the archives. What is this Las Zarpes? Let's see. First, electric railway opens.
My search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas.
Immigration arrest.
My
Oh,
search.
Okay. All right. Apparently, needs to be in the actual. Goodness, there's so much to look at. Okay, nothing in the newspapers. Let's check out encyclopedias. Las Zarpas, badge transportation. Las Zarpas barges are leaders in heavy goods transportation. The Las Zarpas label belongs to the Mexican consortium, Carcal, who covers shipping, electricity services, and mining.
Here it is.
Mexican Carcal have barges? Well, yes. Have recently utilized barges at the lake. Probably transport something very heavy. Okay then. My gosh, look at all these deductions. Whew. I gotta say, this one has so much more to it than it originally looked. Ah. Examine the side railway branch at Evesham. Yeah, that's that one over there. Alright, so where is the side railway branch? No. I need to look on this side. Now, we already know, though. Oh, wait. Can I talk to you?
The entire train has disappeared. It's a disaster.
Yeah, this is where we looked at stuff already. Okay, so it was the other way. Oh no, I can't move anymore. Oh. Ah! I got turned around. That's why. So we're not going to find anything at this side entrance over here because, well, obviously the train didn't come by. There's a door. Yeah, see, there were rails in here. remains of
There was a
building.
building here not so long ago.
But I don't understand, Holmes. Why would anyone destroy the shed in such a manner?
It was disassembled in great haste. It is most odd.
Wonder if they're all in cahoots. Multiple traces. Wheel traces. Heavy vehicle tracks. Traces.
Traces. Let's take a closer look. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep.
Let's measure it again.
The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. The traces found at the disassembled shed near Evesham and at the lake were from the same vehicle.
Intriguing.
This road should lead to the town of Evesham.
Alright, well that's about all that we can do over here. Okay, no, that's just for loading and unloading. Tell me about that lodge. A disassembled warehouse.
It appears that there was a small warehouse near your station and that it was disassembled. Why is that?
It was burgled overnight about 2 weeks ago. The police have already started their investigation, but I doubt that they'll find anything.
What was inside the warehouse?
Nothing of value. A few 100 feet of standby rails and some spare railway parts. But it wouldn't be easy to steal all of that. Why would anyone want to?
See you later, my good man.
That's interesting. Somebody stole the rails to temporarily cover the missing section of the railway into the mines. Train is sealed underneath the collapsed mines. So far, that's what I'm thinking. But we don't know about anything else so far. Wrong button. So now we need to do the side railway branch that leads to the quarry at the station located between Chesterfield and Evesham. Between Chesterfield and Evesham, so that's the Doncaster. So we're supposed to do... But I already looked. Cookies, but what kind of cookies? Oatmeal? Oatmeal raisin? Chocolate chip? Shortbread? Oh my god, I haven't had a peanut butter cookies in forever. I should make those at some point. Oh, you're so basic. I mean, cookies are still cookies, though. I personally made brownies the other day. What was the guy going to be back?
Please, sir, we would ask you not to leave. We have some questions.
Are you the police?
No,
Yes.
we are employed by the railway company. We are collecting witness statements about the train that disappeared last night.
Lo siento, I'm in a hurry.
Really? It seemed that you were waiting here for someone. Could you tell us if you were at the station last night?
No, I just arrived from South America.
A formidable journey, no doubt. Which country are you from?
De Chile.
De Chile. So you're playing the cookies, kids on the disappearance of the cookies? Wow, you'd have to make sure that they were left out for them to find. He's got wrinkles. smart clothes. Yeah. Strong build. Martial arts. I guess the specific kinds of expensive cigar. I thought you were Mexican.
Chile? But you are Mexican.
No, you are wrong. Why would you think I'm Mexican?
Because of the Mexican cigars.
Because of your cigars.
See, cigarrillos. So what?
Those cigars are the Ricardo brand, from Mexico. It is quite impossible to find them anywhere but there.
Pero not your business.
Well, what's your business here?
I don't suppose that you are on vacation. What business brought you here?
I was to meet my fellow compañeros, who were due to arrive yesterday. They were on that damn train. I will stay here and hope that the authorities find them, or their bodies. It's now my responsibility to repatriate them.
Who authorized you to do that?
The company I work for.
Could you tell me the name of the company?
It's not your concern.
And what is your name?
Not your concern.
Enough questions. Buenas tardes.
Not a very friendly man, and he is lying. He said that he just arrived, but we know that he has been here for several days.
Suspicious Mexican. Said held no grudge against the Chileans. Yeah, no, they're angry. Favored for purchasing. Yep. Ooh. Was that over here? Accident. Yeah, because they were left on board. A Mexican trap. The Mexicans organized the Chileans stay on the train. That's why the controller removed all the passengers except for the Chileans. Ooh, it could be. Mexican trap. Mexicans sealed in the Chileans. It was a carefully planned murder. The Mexicans killed the Chileans and sealed the train underneath the collapsed mines to hide their crime. Blind justice. The Mexicans' inhumanity towards the Chileans has cost many lives. We must act quickly. Contact Lestrade and allow the police to perform their loud and swift justice, even at the risk of international conflict. Political game. A criminal organization such as this cannot be confronted directly. It requires a delicate approach. Give Mycraft the chance to resolve the conflict, although it might be protracted and turned to his own advantage. We want to continue the investigation. I think there's more that we can find. Time is relative, my dear Watson. It's true. Oops. Leads to the quarry. I'm still supposed to be able to see a side branch. No, it was the other side. Whoops. Whoop it! Oh my gosh. Watson, your legs! Oh my gosh, he's in the floor. Watson, my good man. What happened? Did they saw off your, did the cartel saw off your legs? Oh no, he's stuck. Oh, he's back. You've regrown your legs. Well done, Watson. I see that reptilian DNA has come in handy. An imposter. I don't. Okay, wait. All right, so this was this. So according to the map, maybe I'm supposed to go up or down the tracks a little bit. Nope. Like I said, that I'm supposed to explore this little beach or the side area here, but I can't. There's nothing here for me to see. And when I use my detective vision, I already saw the one thing here. Ah, it's over here. Never mind. It was earlier.
This railway branch should lead to the quarry. Let us take a look.
So,
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
no imagining for me here. To the quarry, let us run. But oh ho! End of the
The
line.
railway ends here. That is strange.
Oh, there we go.
The rail is rusted and looks old, but the railway is still usable.
Train could have been sunk in the flooded quarry. The Doncaster. The train cannot be sunk in the flood quarry because the old railway that leads there is missing some rails. There's something else as well. Oh, look where somebody stole the rails to temporarily cover the missing section of the. Ah, man. Okay. Here's. Oh, goodness. Yep. So we've found all the clues. I'll just double check, make sure there's nobody else to talk to.
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
Oh. I wonder.
I will not move.
It's a.
I wonder.
Don't touch anything, please.
Okay. If we go back to the beach. All right, so first of all, Chesterfield. So he was pretty certain, even though he was drunk, that he saw the train pass. But we did not. Doncaster was the one where he could have been bribed to say that it passed. That's the tough thing. It's like, do you believe the drunk man or not? Now, there were workers there and dirty tools. Dang, this one's tough. Because if we go to the beach, which we're here right now, we know that there's heavy wagon. Heavy wagon came in. Now here's the thing, there's blood here. Blood and clothes. And it bothers me that I'm not seeing anything with that. So this was obviously something happened to the dam. So essentially, as of right now, if we look at our deductions, let's Robinson's motive. So originally, I thought a lot of easy money for Mr. Robinson, thanks to insurance and multiple fraudulent extracts. But it's looking like he's the victim. Even though he planned this fraud, he's lost far more than he could gain. So I think it's more that he ended up being a victim. Now, the real problem is, where did the train go? We know that the mines were indeed blown up. That's the two locations that it could be. The warehouse was dismantled, so the tracks go into the mine or into the barge. I mean, like into the flooded area there, the quarry. Now, the key thing, though, is that those tracks are now upended and gone again. Oh, that's true. So how and where could have that gone? Oh, you know what? I think it has to be the quarry. Because let us run through and double check those tracks again. That's where the train disappeared. That's 2 weeks prior. Somebody broke into here and they stole all the things. And then they brought them into town. Cool beans. So now we know all the tracks are missing. And these are the wheel tracks of the things that took it. So then we go over to Doncaster here. Yeah, we gotta do big brain time here. Let me know if my logic and reasoning seems flawed at any point. Okay, so now we go. So there's some heavy trails here.
Allow me to guide you all to the world of surprises on this train that runs toward glory.
Merry Christmas indeed. Thank you very much for that prime sub, Mr. Zookeeper Chris, for 19 months. Ooh. I appreciate that. I hope you're enjoying the mystery. Okay. Then where was that? Over here. Right. See, it's not spooky this time though, right? Right? Yeah, the graphics aren't too bad with it. Okay, there's nothing here. Oh, wait. End of the rails. Okay, fine. So those heavy things went to the beach, though. Now if we go the railway switch over here... If I find a Martian's now queued for rank. You can do it. Cross my fingers for you. I believe in you. You've got a stupid win rate as it is already. Okay, sorry. I guess I have to go to the mines. Yeah, the Martians, I was zooming along up by the... just below where space is in the sky, and yeah, it takes long hours time. Alright, so then here's the wagon. This is where we had found the wagon stuff. Plus the screws.
Someone removed these screws, most probably. A few feet of the rails had...
I had measured this. Spawn rate drops after finding the ones. Yeah. Okay, so those big tracks are only at the beach. And Las Zarpes was found at the beach near the lake. Relatively fresh. Kinds of horse racing. Burned notes. Flooded area. Traces of mine are fresh. Were made by a small truck with 4 feet 8 inches. This was 6 feet. Okay, so what we need to do is look at where was the burglarized. Okay, so that's basically it saying that this was small. And so it couldn't possibly have been anything to take that took the rails. So the rails that were taken from here could not have been, I mean, but here's the thing though, that small truck. Oh. Yeah. So maybe it's not in the mine then. Okay. Which means it would have had to gone up the quarry, so it would have actually passed Chesterfield. So past Chesterfield. And then I went to the railway into the quarry. Which just means the mines were collapsed with dynamite. Someone wanted to close them. So the train could have been sunk. That is true. The train has been sunk in the flooded quarry. Like it wasn't They left the rich people. They left them on purpose. So essentially they lost out on the mine. So they blew it up. Thus the smaller truck went in there with a bunch of C4. They blew up the mine. Then they left. Then, while the Chileans were on the train, they went and sunk it using the dam. Now, here's the thing. So, blind justice. Mexicans' inhumanity towards the Chileans cost many lives because there's other passengers as well. We must act quickly. Perform the loud and swift justice. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to do a very good job finding everyone. Now, Mycroft is, you know, he's got his secret agents and so on. I think Mycroft would be a lot better chance to actually get a whole criminal organization. And yeah, cannot be confronted directly. Requires a delicate approach. I mean, sure, though it might be protracted and turned to his own advantage. I mean, who cares if he goes yeah, I think that would be better than the blind justice. Yeah, they might catch some of the Mexican cartel. Whoop-de-doo. It's not. We want to bring them all down. So let's go with political game. I'm pretty certain this is what it is. As much as I thought it was the mines at first, it's not adding up. So let's see if we're right. Alright, let's see. See if I'm right. Cross my fingers.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices.
Yes, there were.
Ah, but I know that look. You have your own ideas. What are they, Holmes?
On the one hand, we have the local constabulary and advice from our friend Lestrade. The problem we have there is that the authorities seem to be incapable of acting quietly. They rely on brute force. It could result in an international scandal. Our other option is Brother Mycroft and his tedious political games. He will locate the guilty parties without any trouble, but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some compromise that will be to Mycroft's benefit. But I think I'd prefer to give Mycroft a chance. We should overlook our personal differences on this occasion.
Let us go home, then. I'd like to begin writing a draft of this story.
No, I did not say that we had finished here yet.
Well, all right. What did I miss?
Watson, we know that the Barcazas Company directors were drowned in the flooded quarry, along with the train and Robinson's prototype. But we still need to corner the guilty party.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you intend to prove... Oh, no. Please don't tell me we have to dive into the lake.
Huh. You may rest assured that I have a far better idea. We have only to use our corrupt Doncaster station master as bait. He will unwittingly trap our Mexican friend.
Oh no.
Of course, you already had a plan. I shall follow you, Holmes.
Well, the case is solved, and we shall be heading home. And may we have 2 tickets to London, please?
Right away, but... Wait a minute. You've solved the case?
In a manner of speaking. Can you believe that the rescue service miraculously saved one of the Chileans who were on board the train? The police have ordered his immediate escort to London on the next train.
He pulled through, then? He's alive?
Yes, by extreme good fortune. His condition is quite serious, and the method of transportation has its risk, but he will be held securely by the doctor and police officers. The gentleman carries some vital information on this
There
case.
you are, Fino.
I am
Hello.
sure of it.
Ah, Really?
Your station will be famous, Mr. Duff. The journalists will be here before you know it. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Sometime later. Oh, Rimworld. Oh, Rimworld. Nate was like, hey, tell Fino I was the first here. And then he was sitting there going all like, where is Fino? I'm so confused. He was very disappointed that you weren't here.
Gentlemen, you are under arrest.
Caramba! You traitor! You double-crossed me!
Oh no, he's gonna shoot him. Yep. Ooh, that was close.
Good shot, Watson. I always knew you were a talented marksman.
I didn't want another life lost in this case, Holmes.
Oh my God! I thought I was a dead man.
You shouldn't be so glad about it. You'll be up before the judge.
Your testimony will be of great importance to the investigation. I would remind you that your cooperation will be the best way to ease your sentence. By the way, Watson, would you be so kind as to give me some shooting lessons later on?
Yes, but not in our sitting room, and not with you wearing a blindfold.
Oh, snap. So. I was right! Yes! To carefully planned murder, the Mexicans killed the Chileans and sank the train to hide their crime. The dam breach was played to their advantage. They used their own barges to keep the train on the run for a few seconds, and then sank it in the flooded quarry. The railway tracks were removed to hide the crime. A criminal organization such as this cannot be confronted directly. It requires a delicate approach. The decision was made to give Mycroft the chance to resolve the conflict. Beautiful. Love it. I have to go YouTube, see how to get components, and then you're like, oh no! Oh no, oh no! Oh yeah. Okay, good. And I'm completely happy with the Mycroft conclusion, because we've got the one guy now in custody. He can give us more details. We're going to accept this decision. I don't even need to see anything. We'll finish the case. Save files are removed. Yes. Good. Oh no. No, we've got enough time this time. Last time it was earlier, so we still got some time. So, oh, boom! 70% solved the case the same way. 62% made the same moral choice. Personality rank. Commiserative. Look, I've got a shining heart. Oh. But yes, you did miss the entire case. So, at least. Unfortunately, you did see the ending, though. But now you can just zip through the fast, important, good parts in the bloodbath. Uh-oh. In the VOD.
Holmes, what happened?
I feel deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits.
This seems to be the case.
The pupil is dilated. The temperature appears to be normal. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. I need to concentrate and count the
Oh, do I need
heartbeats.
to click it?
A weak pulse. Around 50 beats per minute.
You're going to bed? All right, Slanders. We'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by. Have yourself a wonderful morning.
But you're dying, Holmes. Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and Datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
A good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Glad to find
All better.
you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but... what?
As I said,
And they were tied together.
you are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
The Oceanic. Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2 young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman Baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
To the Stranded Lane Bath. The fate of Black. Oh yeah, no, we already. Oh, we've got souvenirs. Train whistle, harpoon. Okay then.
On the sofa for the 3rd time today. Well, don't be surprised if Watson sits on you again.
Oh God, again. Sherlock, why? Why?
A map of London and the surroundings.
To the bath. All dang naked statues.
What a beautiful place.
With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes. I shall be waiting for you here, but please hurry.
Tell me about the suspects.
Are you able to identify the men who were with the victim in the steam room?
Yes. The manager of the bath, Sir Gregory Pitkin, a lad from the city council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. I think the plump one, Garrow, did it. He doesn't seem right in the head.
Well, we shall see.
What about the crime weapon?
You found no murder weapon?
No, and that's why I called you. All 3 witnesses and the victim were locked in when the murder occurred, and they remained so until we got here. We even had to pick the lock to enter.
I see.
A locked room case. Ooh, witnesses.
Was there anyone else here, apart from those gentlemen in the steam room?
Yes, a Mr. Phillips. He was the one who called the police. He'll be able to give you more details. Any progress, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, I just finished talking to you.
Good day to you, Mr. Phillips. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. Would you be so kind as to answer our questions?
Certainly, sir.
First, let's have a good look at you. You got light wrinkles. Okay, yep. You've got, you're fastidious. Okay, cool beans, cool beans. Watch your hair is like right here. Ooh, no. Just starched collar. What? Oh, okay. Starched collar just means fastidious. Gotcha. Shiny buttons. The Manchester City. What's this? A telegram sent today. Ooh. See, it looked like his ear. Oh, scissor cut. Grooms himself. Lives alone. Tell us what happened.
Please tell us the chain of events from the start of your day. Everything that you can remember. The slightest detail may be of importance.
Very well, sir. I came in at 6:30 this morning, and I opened the baths. I made sure that the room was clean, and I prepared the towels. The brazier was still burning.
There was a fire burning all night.
Yes, Sir Gregory ordered me to light the brazier yesterday. It takes some time until the room is fully heated. The gentlemen had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. I wanted everything to be perfect. They'd been in the steam room for 20 minutes when I suddenly heard shouting. I ran to the door, but it was closed. I couldn't open it. So I ran out to the street to call for the police. One constable came up, and then there were others, and they picked the lock. Then Inspector Lestrade came along, and he told us that nothing should be touched.
What does Sherlock's sidekick say when he doesn't understand what his kid said? What, son? What? Oh,
Did you
boy.
receive any other visitors this morning?
No one. Until these gentlemen arrived. Sir Gregory was the first. And then, while we were discussing work details, Sir Rodney and Mr. Blinkhorn arrived, and Mr. Garrow followed.
What happened after that?
I waited until they'd all entered the steam room, then I returned to the hall. The changing room door was open, so I should hear if they needed anything.
You would have heard if someone had entered or left the steam room.
Certainly, sir. These doors make a lot of noise.
A lot of noise there.
These
Right.
baths are becoming sinister.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Frigidarium.
Exit us.
The changing room. The steam room.
Excellent. I found all of the clues. I win.
The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes.
Fine, I guess I'll go to the steam room. I wanted to save that for last.
These clothes belong to one of the suspects from the steam room.
They are pretty loud.
Clothes belonging to one of the suspects.
I thought it was like a cold and a hot place.
Expensive clothes belonging to one of the men from the steam room.
And a champagne bottle.
Champagne for a special occasion.
Boiling Terrius.
An
Melted
ice bucket
ice.
to keep the champagne chilled.
Spill it.
Unopened. It was intended to be enjoyed after the steam session.
Okay. Okay, so what, you just told them all to sit in the steam room and just wait for me? Oh. Oh, I thought it was like
Lord Holmes.
Ah, death with a peculiarly Roman piquancy.
Like the one you almost had an hour ago.
Let us forget about that.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, he just upped and died, not that he had his eye gouged out.
The grid cannot be removed.
There was only one hit from the weapon. It pierced the right eye straight through to the brain. Death would have been instantaneous.
The wound should not have bled so profusely. This pool is rather large.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Look, Watson. He was wearing a ring. He very likely removed it before the steam session.
The death is very recent, between 30 minutes to 1 hour ago.
Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample. I think we have found all that we can here, taking into consideration the abysmal lighting. Constable, we have finished with the body.
We don't have many leads here.
What concerns me is that we still have to find the murder weapon.
Mr. Holmes?
Please have the body removed without disturbing anything else in the room.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
Just carry it
I
out
was
of here.
wondering, Holmes, it's fairly reckless to carry out a murder inside a closed chamber. Why do you suppose they did it?
There are a great many possibilities. The murderer was in a hurry. Or he is an artist. Or a ghost. Or he wanted to ensure that I'd be brought in on the case.
Probably the latter. You are ridiculous. Do you know that?
Yeah, now we could examine the blood.
I should check this blood sample at Baker Street.
Smart. Wait, what? Oh, just because it... Yeah, okay.
This key was covered in blood. I should ask Phillips about it.
Yoink! Steam switch. Woohoo! Steam!
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away. With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
That's true. So, could have been anyone that and the others wouldn't necessarily have seen. Yeah, so it could have been one of those guys. Cracked
One
glasses.
lens is cracked, probably due to the temperature of the brazier. These lenses are for myopia. The wearer is short-sighted. The brazier is still burning. The heat here is extreme.
What's that in the middle, though? Melted
I will need
metal.
something to pick up this melted metal. It is too hot. I cannot reach into it. The weapon is nowhere to be found.
Because it's melted inside there. Now,
with the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
it says that there's supposedly a clue. But
With
where?
the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Because it says there's something in the detective thing when I'm in the steam. I can't talk to anybody. I don't know how to play League well. When it's been a while, I definitely recommend just doing versus AIs until you get used to how it plays again, and then after that, you swap to just normals for a long time. Oh. That's because you can't flip the switch unless you're in this mode. Interesting. Okay, well anyways. Oh, you have blood on your towel. Oh, hello.
Blood traces wiped on the towel.
I suppose let's talk to Mr. Garrow first. Why do you have blood on your towel?
It's horrible. Sir Rodney, he's dead. Can't we speak about it somewhere else? I found him. I
Oh,
touched his shoulder, thinking that he was just asleep.
I'm in shock. I don't want to talk.
It's horrible. I can't talk at the moment.
okay then.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes?
Alright, so we know that there was a ring. You take off the ring. Where's the ring? No, it doesn't matter. Okay. Whee!
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
Wait.
Please wait. I need to do something first.
The steam room keys?
How many people have keys to the steam room?
We have just the one key for now, which Sir Gregory gave to me.
So, this morning you opened the steam room, and then?
I put the key inside my desk, but when they called, I couldn't find it. It had disappeared, but I don't know where it is.
Did you leave the baths at any time, or receive any visitors?
No, sir, I did not.
Oh, really? Because I have this bloody key right... Oh, wait, morning telegram. It was in your pocket.
You are not telling the truth, Mr. Phillips. You left your work this morning, and you went to the post office, where you dispatched a telegram at around 7:30.
But how could you... No,
The telegram was for someone in Manchester.
Mr. Holmes, it's I'll tell you everything.
Like,
I left the baths at 7:20. My sister wrote to me yesterday, and she needed a reply, or our mother is unwell. I was away for 20 minutes, and I closed the baths on my way out.
Did you receive a reply from your sister?
No, she wasn't meant to. I just told her to pawn my old school uniform so that she could pay for the medication.
Did you check to see if the key was still in your desk when you returned?
No, I didn't. Please, Mr. Holmes, don't tell the police about this. Sir Gregory would give me the sack. I need this job.
I see.
who brought the champagne?
There is a bottle of champagne on ice in the changing room. Do you have any idea who left it there?
There is? Are you quite certain? I didn't pay any attention. Do you believe that it's important?
Yes.
All these events are bad for the baths. And my job.
Let's go check out the other places.
This area serves as Sir Rodney Bentcliffe's workshop.
A box. Photos, negatives.
Glass plate negatives. A remarkable method for recording ancient civilizations.
7 out of 3 placements. Damn, that's nice. Wait, time to climb out of bronze. What did you finish at? I'm missing
A
plate.
glass plate negative is
Bronze
missing.
2? With 7-3? Holy crap.
It is a glass plate negative of an Egyptian statue.
Interesting.
Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them.
3 minutes in. Oh, against the Timo, yeah. Well, really, that's interesting. Like, I would think that he could have done pretty well against Timo. All he's got to do is bait out the blind, and then he can all in him. No problem. Ah, well. There are few among us who could claim any degree of unfamiliarity with the name of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. He is a gentleman who possesses the wealth, notoriety, and vigor to well match the finest of his ilk, abound in England. His intellect is equal to his charms, as he has oft been declared by the young ladies of the European aristocracy. Blah, blah, blah. He holds powerful connections within the Lord's Chamber and carries an influence upon the political world. There are those who would call him unforgiving or authoritarian. We should rather say that Sir Rodney is determined and ambitious. His presence at any archaeological site can only mean success for all concerned. Ice cream. Ooh. Right there, look at farm under tower. This. Oh my god. That's why you just hold out for the late game. You get out your defense. Oh, another one. Miraculous reopening for the Strand Lane Roman baths. Excavation research. The research efforts were about to be halted when a savior arrived in the form of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Sir Rodney has taken over immediate control of the excavation, claiming the site holds the key to a great mystery. We pledge to update our readers with all the exciting news as it develops. Dear friend, I wish to organize a press conference at the Strand Lane Baths next month. 1893 was a remarkable year for my work in Egypt, but now it is time to set my focus upon English archaeology. To shine the light on our national treasures and reveal them to the public. I would like to see as many journalists as possible in attendance to record this event and record it favorably, if we treat them well enough. I should like to recall my old friendship with Lord Blackmore and use the special funds of the Royal Archaeological Institute for this event. Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. We need to perform analysis, search archives. Ooh, another document. This metal plate, besides its archaeological interest, appears to be a part of something larger. At the present moment, I'm unable to determine what that might be.
A shape has been cut in the plate. What should be done with it?
Intriguing.
Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them.
Yeah, that's everything over there.
Tools used by archaeologists in their research.
Can I pick something up?
I will need
yes!
these
Tongs. Beautiful. I needed those indeed. So grab the metal.
My God, are you all right? I wonder how this could have happened.
Yes, it is somewhat treacherous. Fortunately, I am unscathed. To where does this corridor lead?
To the frigidarium, the coal room.
Barely unscathed and by a very small margin. And treacherous is an understatement.
Well, I guess we can't go in there.
Those stones weigh tons. We won't move them.
It does not matter. If our investigation requires it, we shall ask for them to be removed.
We don't have many leads here.
Not yet, but we will. Oh God. Aha! Ha 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 ha!
Analyze this melted metal.
That's what they get. They thought they could stop me, but they couldn't.
I don't want to stay here. Let
Okay,
us
so
out,
I
please.
can't analyze it any further. Do you have anything else on your towel? No.
If you have to interrogate,
I can't.
And on your towel. All right. I feel like there should be something with the steam.
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
I'm not seeing anything. I can't talk to anyone. Too hot and steamy, they might get the wrong idea, right? I suddenly wander up to them in there and they're like, hey. Alright, so then we go detective vision. Detective vision only keeps this here. Excuse me, my good sir, you dropped your soap. Oh dear. But it's a steam room, not a bath. Bring soap into a steam room. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that the detective vision is solely for this. Until I can figure out something else to do with the steam room. Now, I believe the weight was just in case you don't see the blood on the towel. But to be perfectly safe, before we say that he can take them out to be questioned, we're going to go do some more searches. Just in the event that I might screw things up by saying that they can go.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Well, let's analyze this dirt. Focus, I see.
Selenite. Pyrite, otherwise known as fool's gold. White clay particles. Interesting. According to the color and its composition, I deduce that this sample is white clay. Now, I need to find which area near London this sample belongs to.
So, white clay. Purple, right here.
The sample of dirt belongs to the White London clay region, located near the city of St. Albans.
Alright, now let's analyze the blood.
Let us analyze this blood sample.
But of course, exactly. I mean, don't you have
This
a
blood
map?
has not coagulated well. It seems very liquid. That is strange. Let us see what is inside it. Hydrogen peroxide will bring any foreign matter to the surface.
I say, well, you're working in your zoo. Do you not have a giant sheet saying all the animals within your zoo and exactly their proper names and things about them? Or their native habitats? White clay would be found in the white clay region.
I must take a pipette and place several drops of hydrogen peroxide.
Pipette. Peroxide. Oh. Nothing there. Nothing there.
Water. This blood is heavily diluted with water.
Okay, let's analyze the metal.
This is a piece of metal taken from a brazier. It appears to be silver, but I need to be sure. If it is silver, it will be possible to melt it, since silver's melting point is at around 900 degrees Celsius. Let us compare this sample with a silver penny by testing it with acid. If it changes color to match the result of a reaction with a silver coin, then it is silver.
Yeah.
The reaction is the same red stain. It is silver, Britannia silver quality.
Was this a red? Violets are. I went to Zeus, a fat monkey. I thought it was. Wait, what?
My analysis table.
So mean.
It is useful for my work.
This is going to cry it now.
On the sofa for the third time.
All right, search archives. Okay. Letters. Oh, I have letters. As the power of the Empire is growing stronger day by day, as of yesterday, the Mexican consortium Caracal began serving the cause of the British Empire. This arrangement is undeniably profitable for London and England overall. This is a great achievement for our exceptional diplomatic and political community. Other news, the train has mysteriously disappeared en route to Isham railway station. So Mycroft was able to force them to now have to work with us. Nice. Well done, Mycroft. Well done. The grotesque murder of the former Captain Peter Carey, known in private as Black Peter, has been resolved. The evidence that Scotland Yard received from a trustworthy source was more than sufficient to conclude that the murderers Peter Carey was Pablo Venturero, one of Carey's former harpooners. However, lawful justice could not be awarded. Venturero was found dead of natural causes, possibly from his remorse at committing such a terrible crime.
This is where I keep my post.
Let's see. So, 1983 was a remarkable year. All right, so let's... 1893. There we go. Work in Egypt. Bentcliffe's mummy. Great excavation in Usran has taken over 3 years. Sir Rodney Bentcliffe directed the archaeological work. A mummy was found with an inoculated eye, imposed in an unusual position. The right eye was tense, as if reaching out for something or to someone. The mummy was buried upright. She has been named the Desperate Mummy, due to her very peculiar characteristics. Nearby could be read in Latin, "By the eye he will be punished, for he saw what he was not worthy." The mummy is believed to be Roman rather than Egyptian, as some symbols found in the tomb are in common with Hebraic mysteries. All right, have yourself a good night. We'll catch you later.
Here it is.
Thank you again for that sub.
By
Have
the
yourself a
eye
good night.
he was punished, for he saw that he was not worthy. Dreadful.
All right, well. I am pretty certain that that metal was the weapon. So we found all that we can right now. Oof. Texture streaming.
These baths are becoming...
Mr. Holmes. All right, yeah, it's looking like there's nothing I can really do now. All right. We found the blood stain. That's probably all it was about. In case you talked to Lestrade
Mr. Holmes,
before.
I should like to take
Tried
the
to talk
suspects
to
to
them.
the yard.
No objections.
None, Lestrade.
Now we just need to interrogate them. To Scotland Yard. Because we have nothing else to... Well, see. Do. Whatever. Yep, because we finished examining the crime scene. See? See, we got the pop-up saying that. It's all good. Ooh, perfect. We've got belongings.
What should we do next?
What should we do next?
Good day to you, Mr. Holmes.
Oh wow. There's a bunch of things. Ah, in which case here's the towel anyways. Okay, so let's belong with the deceased. Start with that. So this was the
This
ring.
ring was most likely the one that Sir Rodney wore. He removed it before entering the steam room.
Oh, it's been welded.
I see the join. This ring was repaired, and quite badly too, with silver.
Hmm.
An Egyptian symbol. It is a very old jewel.
Why on earth would they wear such a ring?
A very pertinent question.
A coin. Okay.
An old and rather dirty coin.
A map.
A hand-drawn map.
And a notebook. Rodney Brentcliffe.
Rodney Bentcliffe's notebook. It may contain something of interest.
Yeah. Anything that was of interest has been torn away.
The last pages were torn out. We must find a way of retrieving Sir Rodney's last lines. Watson, please prevent anyone from entering the room. But first, fetch me a pencil.
We're going to do a rubbing.
To begin with, a few strokes of the pencil will be enough. I don't want to damage the traces.
Today, I almost, or yeah, I'm pretty sure that's almost found. I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Okay, I have to let go of the pencil. That's why I'm like,
And
okay.
then to gently smudge the leftover pencil marks with a handkerchief. I'm sure that Watson won't mind if I use his.
Or Watson.
Mr. Holmes, the coroner had... But what are you doing? Tampering with the evidence?
I prefer to make them talk. Today, I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Sir Rodney was about to make an outstanding discovery.
Wonderful.
I could retrieve only the final words. The rest of it is lost. Perhaps the autopsy will assist us in that matter.
I'm not sure that I can allow you to inspect the body now.
I am sure that you must, Constable.
Well...
Well, okay, fine. Right eyeball. Oh, report from the coroner. Right eyeball has been burst, pierced to the hilt by curved bladed knife. The blade cut through the orbit of the frontal bone, ripping a part of the frontal lobe and the corpus callosum, after which, completing its trajectory into the cerebellum, caused hemorrhagic lesions. All these injuries led directly to the death of the individual. The upper lobe of the right lung, there is an old injury filled with an amount of mucus, insulated debris that may correspond to a chronic infection by elements likely inhaled in a burial chamber. A decaying mummy, for example, or a dried and decomposing food product intended to accompany the deceased in their grave. The remainder of the body does not appear to have been damaged. Got so many dialogue choices. So many. Letter for Pinkton. To Sir Gregory Pitkin, manager, to Mr. Blinkhorn. Dear sir, the interests that I represent require the situation at the baths to be changed for the better. At the present time, the frigidarium excavations remain under your direction, and yet the works have not progressed. You have failed to find anything of value, and we are unable to make the frigidarium accessible to the public. The frigidarium is a valuable asset in the recreation of the Roman bath experience. I urge you to complete your work within the next 2 months. You have this remaining time to conclude your archaeological research and to find yourself another workplace. Ooh, so he's fired. Disappointing.
An ordinary pencil.
Could have used that instead of making Watson go get me one. Hero's belongings. A drug file.
A file with herbs. Do you know what it is, my dear fellow?
It's the St. John's wort flower, Holmes. It's commonly used as a drug against melancholia. However, an overdosage might lead to a rash or even hallucinations.
Which is why he seemed to be a bit out of sorts
When
and
Garrow
odd.
found Sir Rodney dead, he wiped the blood upon himself.
Visiting card.
Sir Gregory Pitkin's visiting card. A fountain pen with solid gold trim. An embroidered silk handkerchief.
So fancy. Alright, that's everything.
Locked.
Down to the body. We read the coroner's report, but do we trust them? No. For they may have easily misplaced and not seen something that we would.
According to the coroner, there were no cardiac problems nor lung congestion, but there were traces of fungus, possibly contracted from the Egyptian tombs. The coroner observed no stomach nor liver disease, if we're to accept that Sir Rodney was an occasional drinker and 63 years of age.
Some light bruising caused by a rope.
Rope? Oh, look at that nice bottom. Baby.
The bruising is in lines. They were caused by a rope around the waist. Sir Rodney was descending somewhere.
An unusual wound, inflicted by a curved knife, which resulted in instant death, as the coroner's report says.
Ooh. We have a deduction. Oh my gosh. Strange root inside. No. Sea moisture. The presence of water is due to the humid atmosphere caused by the stream. The presence of water in the blood is an unexplained clue. Must be somehow linked to the murder process. That's what I think. Don't really have anything else yet. Alright, so the body's all done.
I'm always wondering what's on your
mind, Holmes.
Good day to you, Mr. Holmes.
Alright, who do we talk to? Let's talk to Mr. Garrow first.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. A good day to you. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I am Tristram Garrow.
Let's have a good look at you, sir. Badly shaven. Perspiration. eye bags. He's not doing very well, in other words. Dirty clothes. A protective amulet. Amps the hand. He's superstitious. Your profession?
What is your occupation?
I am a councillor at the district chamber.
And what were you doing at the baths?
Well, I follow the researches. I am interested in archaeology.
You follow them?
Yes. So many things happened and we need to know. Or perhaps it's better hidden.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Garrow.
I meant nothing by that.
His
I
head is
apologise.
so fat. It's like...
What was it like to work with Sir Rodney?
It was like working with a
looks
genius.
way too
He
big.
was a hard man, but then you know this world is hard. There are always people who want to steal from you, and he trusted me. But oh,
are you feeling unwell?
I'm sorry. It is I remember. Oh, I feel so sorry.
Do you need anything?
I feel bad. I hear. No, nothing. I'm better now.
What about the ring?
His ring. Oh, it should be destroyed.
Why do you say that?
It is a cursed ring, digging dark secrets.
Really?
It is after me now. I know it. I shouldn't have worked on it in the workshop. It's too late now.
Oh, he's the one who melded it. Murder.
Please try to recall what you saw today.
The room was so hot. I had to remove my glasses. I was not feeling so very well in there.
But you found the body.
I saw the knife, you know, flying through the air. I saw the blood. I tried to escape. I don't remember.
Saw the knife? What did it look like?
Everything was as if in a nightmare. It all happened so fast. The knife was shining like gold.
Recent unusual event.
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behaviour?
Well, he had been rather secretive these past few days. Last Thursday, for example, I saw him leave. When he returned, it was very late. He showed me some wet coins, Roman coins, and he started to laugh. This is the coin that he showed me. It is from the 3rd century.
It must be very rare.
No, I don't know.
So about this drug that you're on.
Thank you. Thank you. This will help me to calm down.
Do be careful with the dosage.
I will.
I mean it.
Melted silver.
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
It didn't help. The power is too strong.
Champagne.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
What? No.
Garrow appears to be rather mentally disturbed. Either that or he is a good actor.
So... Possible silver weapon. An item of silver has been recently melted in the brazier. Yes. Brazier. Drugs, stolen notes, strange wound, effective arrival. There, just so this way I can... I know none of these should be... There, good. Now when I get a new clue, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's do Mr. Blinkhorn next.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. My name is Percival Blinkhorn.
He's very focused, attentive. Good, good. He's got rusty bracers, a shabby workwear, not healthy. Just from shabby workwear? What? Oh, not wealthy. Not. Totally did not read that right. Calluses. Something. Oh, right here. Fresh dirt stain, recent earthwork.
What is your occupation?
I'm an archaeologist, specializing in the Roman period. I'm working on several excavation sites at present, including the baths at Strand Lane.
Can you tell me more about the baths?
Well, we're hoping to retrieve a great many interesting artifacts from the site, and to list any items of value before their eventual restoration and exhibition.
And has it been successful?
It has, thanks to Sir Rodney.
Tell me about Sir Rodney.
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney?
Well, I couldn't say that he was a kind man, no. But he was talented. I felt a great admiration for him, I must say.
Was it your first collaboration?
I had met Sir Rodney briefly once in Egypt, and I'd shared my researches with him. Surprisingly, my work did convince him to come here. He arrived only a couple of months ago.
Surprisingly?
Well, Sir Rodney was a cold man, and so very secretive too. But I learned so much from him. I can't believe that he's dead.
The way he talks is annoying me. Your work.
How well were your researches progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
He has a chipped front tooth. What are you talking about, liar? He was not doing well. Pickens' letter was saying that you're getting out of there, boy.
This letter reveals that Sir Gregory was prepared to put a stop to your work.
Yes. But since Sir Rodney's arrival, he had calmed down. He allowed us to work. I'm not sure what they agreed on.
What will happen now that Sir Rodney is dead?
Well, I haven't thought about that. But if it's needed, I will fight to defend Sir Rodney's expectations.
But what did you see?
Can you tell me what you saw today?
Well, we entered the steam room and we all went to sit down. The steam was particularly dense, and I didn't see anything much further after that. I just heard Mr. Garrow shouting, but we all ran for the door and bumped into each other. I was very alarmed by this point.
What did you do?
Well, the door was stuck, and with all the steam, it was quite frightening. I was barely able to see my own feet. Garrow was covered in blood.
Do you believe that Garrow killed Sir Rodney?
Oh, no. Garrow couldn't harm a fly.
Anything unusual?
Can you recall any recent event that would occur to you now as being a little strange?
Well, yesterday we had a small argument.
Is that all?
No. Sir Rodney informed me that he was to attend the London Archaeological Congress with me. Then he advised me of quite the opposite. And rather aggressively, too.
What about his ring?
Do you recognize this ring?
Certainly. It's the famous Aswan ring. Sir Rodney brought it back from his last...
What do you think about this?
And he kept it for himself.
Sir Rodney has had his own particular ideas of archaeology.
You want some drugs?
What can you tell me about Garrow?
Well, he always looks so sad. And he has been acting strangely lately. He complains about voices and visions. I will keep an eye on him because I'm worried.
How about that melted silver?
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
No. Silver, you say? No, I don't know how it got there.
Champagne?
Did you place the
It's
bottle
sad
of
to live a
champagne
life
in the
without
changing
friendship.
room?
No,
Even
I did
sadder
not.
than watching a high school rom-com
Oh,
full of guys.
dang. Mugs. Hello, everybody. Welcome. How y'all doing? Oh, goodness. Playing Resident Evil Village. Wait. Was that the demo? I thought it wasn't out. I'm so confused. Oh, goodness. But hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm Vesever, and welcome to Vesever Storytime, where we play all manner of story-based games. So today, are playing a Sherlock Holmes Crime and Punishments. We've gone through 2 cases already, and we have successfully solved each one of them. No problem. That beard, it is so bushy and lovely. I mean, here.
Isn't that wonderful?
Uji, thank you very much for that follow. I appreciate it. But yes, now check it out. Just check it. Look, it's so fluffy, and I can change. I can make it fluff out even more. It grows on demand. Okay, get that back down. There we go. It's very coarse too. I mean, I can keep combs in it and everything as well. But tell me, how are you enjoying the Resident Evil? Look like that soon. Nice. Yeah, and with the lockdown, I've just been letting it grow. It's not like I'm going anywhere, seeing anybody anyways. Didn't join the raid, but you found your way here anyways, Masu. So, you know, I appreciate the fact that even though Mugs tried to just stuff you in a corner, be like, no, we don't want them to follow us, not at all. Then that you still not shoved your way past, like, get out of here, and then you arrived. I know Mugs sometimes likes to do that, you know, tries to hide people so this way, you know, we can't meet each other, but oh well. Beards are great. Beards are wonderful.
Please escort this suspect.
He's
for
bullying.
interrogation.
I'd believe it. I believe it. Slander's told me all kinds
Good day
of
to you,
stories.
Sir Gregory. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder that took place this morning. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Tell me, Mr. Holmes, will I need to stay here for very much longer?
Whew, that attitude. Dang. So Moggs, how's the dev work and stuff been going? I actually haven't seen you in many... Yeah, we haven't been in the same stream for a while. Oh. Okay, he's got an arrogant look. Not only an arrogant look, he's actually been... Ooh, look at this ring. A signet ring. Aristocratic roots. I mean, look at these clothes. Gold chain, cashmere waistcloth, man of wealth. Okay, I'm not going to lie right here. I would love to have this. Oh, Master, thank you very much for that follow. I appreciate it. Like this, I like the colors. I like how it looks. And to be honest, I would wear that while I'm streaming. That would be my look. I'd be like, yes. You know, ooh, and DC. I think that's how I'll say it. Yes. Thank you very much for that follow. I do appreciate it, everybody coming. Now imagine I was wearing this as well. Then it would be perfect. In fact, yes. Why? Oh, that's the only reason I'm not wearing that top hat right now is with the...
Isn't that wonderful?
There we go. I would not be able to quite play, and to be honest, I have not had this monocle stick in my eye quite well. So, my lady, and just how that follow is much appreciated. I do enjoy having you all here. Wonder what happens when you focus on his groin. Ooh. Why? Such barbaric. Oh, I never. I mean, we do need to find out a bit more about him. Drop perfect timing, right? No, it looks like this is as low down as we can get. He's totally all lounging though, like, yeah. He's shoving his groin at us as hard as he can. Like, yeah, there's something else that we're supposed to find though. Let's see, what else are we missing here? He's got a nice haircut. Oh, his lips. His mouth shape is filled with disdain. Tell me about your profession, good sir.
You are the manager of the baths, is that correct?
Yes, I'm passionate about archaeology. I wanted to restore the ruins. My ambition is to open the baths to the public. Living archaeology can be a profitable business, although now I'm not so sure.
I see. When do you wish to begin using the baths?
When the archaeological researches are over, I will be free to complete the restoration. It is the usual process.
Can we just sit in a call one day and talk dapper to each other? Why, Morgs, I do believe that would be a fortuitous occasion indeed. Made a really cool first impression. Excellent. Why? Yes. You know, I do enjoy a nice proper spot of conversation. After all, many ideas are best flourished. No, wait, that's not quite the right turn of phrase that I'm looking for. Ideas flourish with conversation. After all, being able to expand upon them with another intellectual, there's just something special about it. Just like Moggs, I know it's tough. I have to admit, Master, that's actually something that sometimes I struggle with because, like I say, I do story-based games a lot. So therefore, a lot of it is listening to conversations in the games and reading text. So needing to do that and then continue with chat as well. It's like, well then, I don't want to talk over the story. So I'll try to do a little bit of story while chatting because after all, Twitch is a very, well, interactive experience, is it not?
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney Bentcliffe?
You were not particularly close. He had an unpleasant temperament. Suspicious. Authoritarian. Unkind. People possessed by genius may be forgiven for their nature, but not by me.
Was he obstructive?
Not at all. Everything he did led us to greater success. He helped us increase the potential of the building.
Yes, potential. Very versatile.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's Lotus Official. Thank you so much for that follow-up. Pleasure to have you here. Oh, I forgot to mention for everybody. If you are liking what you see here, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, beginning at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then also, I've got my Twitter there, Discord. I throw all my VODs up on YouTube. So if you like this Sherlock and how this is going so far, but you missed the last episode, you want to see what the other cases were like, I do have the VOD up on YouTube. If you don't like to look through Twitch, because, you know, Twitch VODs. Oh, yeah.
Please
tell me about the
what
murder.
happened this morning.
The test that we performed this morning was a success. The steam was working well. But then, of course, that awful murder.
What did you see?
The steam was too thick to see anything. But ask Garrow. He saw the body first.
Sunday now. Oh, no. I gotta say, though, I actually have quite a few people here that are very late watchers. Slenderman, he comes by sometimes. Apparently I stream around 1 to 2 a.m. for him. Super late as well. Gosh. And I gotta say, for those of you that are up past midnight watching me, I hold you in awe. Because I usually like to go to bed around then. Tell me about this recent unusual event.
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behavior?
Look, I'm not a suspicious fellow, but I think that he had professional interests elsewhere that he did not wish us to know about.
Why should you think that? Where?
I have no idea. But after all, it was not my business.
Tell me about your great work.
How was the work progressing
I
before
do
Sir
mods.
Rodney's arrival?
Rather slowly, I would say.
Goodness. Quickens letter.
Sir Gregory, could you please explain this letter? You expressed the wish to call off the research work at the baths.
It was all about Blinkhorn. He was merrily digging away and taking very little care about it, ruining everything and finding nothing of any value.
But the arrival of Sir Rodney changed your mind?
Sir Rodney's work was extremely promising, and it was good for the bath's publicity. So yes, I changed my mind.
Excellent. How do I like my coffee? Okay. First thing you need to understand about me is I am actually caffeine sensitive. So that means that I will have a mug of coffee and it will literally last me the entire day, because if I drink it too fast, it wreaks havoc with me. I get super vibrating. I start feeling ill. It's terrible. But it's nice because I don't need to drink that much. So, because I have a fast metabolism, it pumps it in me quick. So I'll have this one big mug of coffee. I actually bought, pardon me here, this from Canadian Tire. What it is I can turn it on with a little click here, and it's a heating plate for my mug. Now I don't use this because it's plastic. You just pop it on like that, and then you leave it on all day, and it keeps it warm. This way, if you don't like it, whoa, it would leave quite the mark with its red hotness, unless that's what you like. How much was it? $15. That's it. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I've used it for tea. I've used it for coffee. Any liquid that you want to keep warm. Actually, to be honest, I really recommend it. If you have a cup that's okay being in one of those where it won't get damaged. But yeah, Canadian Tire had them for like $15. It was great. Hot cocoa, yeah. Speaking of hot cocoa, because Muggs was asking how I like my coffee before we branched off there. I usually drink it black, but I have started putting hot chocolate in it, and I introduced that to the wife as well. And needless to say, we've done that quite a bit now.
Are you aware that
Yes,
Mr.
15
Garrow is
Canadian
under a
dollars.
form of medication?
Garrow? No, but I never liked that
So
parasite.
yeah, mocha,
Do you believe him to be
hot
capable
chocolate,
of murder?
milk.
Well, he did have blood on him. Does that make him a murderer?
Tell me about the melted silver we found.
Some melted silver was found inside the steam room brazier. Do you know where it came from?
Silver? No.
What about the champagne? Surely it was you.
Did you bring a bottle of champagne to the baths?
Absolutely not. Sir Rodney did, I think.
Well, let us draw some conclusions. Goodness gracious. Sir Rodney was lying to everyone about his work. He was working alone and secretly. Pink chocolate mine, yes. Starbucks, cold brew, put some chocolate and caramel. Just ooh, delicious. I like their salted caramel frappuccinos. Those were actually pretty delicious. Girl's Drug, yeah. Strange Ruined Champagne. Don't know who brought it. Stolen notes. So, he was lying. A mortal secret. Why would Sir Rodney be hiding anything? Could his discovery be the motive for the crime? You can't drink any of them. Oh no. Oh. Just don't like the taste. That's understandable. For me, it really depends on the bean and how it's roasted. Like, for example, dark roasts, they're a little strong. I can handle them, but it's okay. I think I like... Not really a blonde. Yeah. Ooh, you have a bean? Oh, dear lord. The last expedition. Find out where Sir Rodney was several days before his murder and uncovers precious secrets. Now, we talking cat paws here? The little beans on the cat paws that we always hear about? Yeah, that's it, right? Right? Okay, stolen notes. Yep, nothing there. Champagne, bits fight, nothing there. Effective arrival. Okay, there we go. So, Blinkhorn's humiliation. Blinkhorn's work was saved by the arrival of Sir Rodney, but a high cost to his morale. Yeah. Blinkhorn's interest. Blinkhorn's work was saved by the arrival of Sir Rodney. He was thankful for the possibility of their working together. A chance of learning from him. So far, it does seem he was happy about it. From what we've seen. Energy from doing a sugar rush. Oh, gosh. Okay. DC. You're going to hate me. Because I'm one of those guys that I will walk into a store. I'll be like, I'm feeling a little peckish. I would like something sweet. I will go look through the candy aisle. I'll be like, yeah, these look good. Okay, let's look at the prices. 5 minutes will pass. I'm looking through all the delicious sweets. I'm like, I don't feel like spending money, and then I'll walk away. Just because it's like, I don't want to spend the money on it. Although it would be tasty, but it's like, okay, that is all of the clues. Those are our deductions thus far. I've gone bad for games as well in that instance. I now am pretty much only buy them at 75% off because I have such a backlog. In fact, like I am planning to do the medium when it comes out on the 28th. And then otherwise, after that, I have all of the Dragon Age games ready to go. All of them, because I have not played them. But, you know, I've always heard good things about them, but I have not played them. Oops, I wanted the map. And that's going to take me forever to get through. Oh, goodness. Wait, where am I supposed to go? He goes back to the bath. Well, otherwise, like 20 pounds of chocolate in the house? Dang. Okay. White chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, chocolate with almonds, hazelnut. Do you have a preference? Because Lord knows there's so many different kinds out there.
Have you found something interesting?
Milk chocolate mostly.
Mr. Holmes?
I don't like dark chocolate that much. White chocolate I like in small amounts. I find it gets too sweet if you have a lot. But milk chocolate, I think
all these
that
events
one's,
are bad
I
for
enjoy
the
that a
baths
lot.
and my job.
I'm a bit of at a loss. Search the map. Found on the map. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to go to the map at Baker Street. Gotcha. Now, in terms of the milk chocolate, do you like it with things inside? Like what I was saying, there are hazelnuts, fruit, almonds. Ooh, almonds, yes. Milk chocolate with almonds was really good. I sometimes buy the gigantic bars of chocolate with hazelnuts inside, or the various fruits. We'll rest your back. All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for that raid, Moggs. I appreciate it. Can't talk to you later. Enjoy the rest. I wouldn't say enjoy resting your back, although I guess you could. But hopefully your back will feel good and rested. Yeah, exactly, Fino. Yeah, I don't know. Something. Oh my gosh. I always get tricked into looking into this telescope, and I have to see that. Why doesn't he change it?
What should we do next, Holmes?
Where's that map? Where's that map? Master, that's the perfect. Where did you get that emote? Man, I'm gonna click that. I have to go investigate this channel. It's the perfect emote for this. That woman, though, it's true. She was there just for you, Mom.
Now we have 2 maps. We must combine them properly.
Let's see. All right, so we have river, I believe, right? Yep, right here. Found it.
Watson, pack your bag. We are visiting a location in St. Albans marked on Sir Rodney's map.
Don't like almonds or nuts. Oh, crunch bars. Oh, wow. I haven't had a crunch bar in a while. I'm more partial towards Arrow. I don't know why. I just like the air bubbles in it. I don't know. Feeling it melt in your mouth. Because I'll make sure that I don't chew. I just let it melt in your mouth and you like the pop it on your tongue. Nice bitter, tastes more like chocolate and goes great with coffee. I've never tried it with coffee. Hello, horsey. Restricted
This
access.
archaeological site has been abandoned. Why did Bentcliffe come here?
Can we go in? Excellent. We have opened the wickets. Crunch bar in years. I used to get them when I took the kids out for our Halloween. Area 1. Triclinium. Oh. Ooh, Cyclops. Hadrenio. Saw this on the desk.
This is the map of the site. We are at the heart of an old Roman city.
Ooh, look at this document here. Followers of Mithras were covert, worshipping more conventional deities such as Juno or Neptune in their everyday lives. Mithras temples were usually found below the temples of other gods. Mithras followers often referred to their traditional deities to gain passage to the Mithraeum. The example of the Mithraeum of Dio in France is interesting, as the entrance was located beneath a carved statue of Diana. This entrance was possibly revealed by a clever stone and rope mechanism, which may never have been discovered if the water infiltration had not destroyed the mechanism, opening the way down to the Mithraeum. Mithraic temples can be found in Rome, Ostia, Numidia, Dalmatia, Britain, and along the Rhine-Danube frontier, while being somewhat less common in Greece, Egypt, and Syria. Soft ones with nuts in them. Ooh, yes. But the real question is, what kind of nuts? Hazelnuts, almonds, peanuts. Ooh, there's so many. Oh gosh, I haven't had chocolate-covered raisins in ages. Those were one of my favorites. And the empty coconuts that they used to imitate the sound of horses' hooves. Another strange ritual for the old gods, to keep the evil spirits away. The people, feeling that the dark eye was upon them, would melt their valuables in the fire. Sub-Saharan tribes burned fruits, and the rich Roman families spared no expense melting silver or tin. It is not recorded if such valuable offerings were thrown away with the ashes, or if they were reused at the later date. Chocolate raisins, yeah, right? Oh man. Okay. So the melted blade in the fire was thrown in by Garrow, because he's superstitious, and that just confirms that he has those same beliefs, so he threw that. Okay. Oh, metal cubes. Interesting. Let's look at this document first. The cult of Mithras was a mysterious religion practiced within the Roman Empire from around the 1st to 4th century AD. The name of the Persian god Mithra, adapted by the Greek as Mithras, was linked with a new and distinctive imagery. Worshippers of Mithras had a complex system of 7 grades of initiation with ritualistic meals. Initiates would meet in the underground temples called Mithraei that were retained in large numbers. Iconic scenes of Mithras showed him as being born from a rock and slaughtering a bull. Tauroctomy? I have stuff to add to your list. I made brownies recently with chocolate chips. I don't have nuts. I don't know. Would you put walnuts and stuff in your brownies? I think I prefer it without nuts. Just a regular brownie. The knife used by Mithras for the Tauroctony, the sacrifice of the bull, is originally a curved sacrificial blade of Persian origin. Its curve can be from 5 to 15 degrees. The name is derived from the Persian shamshir, which means sword. This radically curved sword family includes the Shamshir scimitar, talwar, kilij, pulwar, and Mongol saber. The myth of the golden knife is the key to the Mithraic mysteries that some describe as the equivalent to the Holy Grail. A golden knife carries a curse that will spill the blood of the unworthy who would dare to touch it.
The door has been left open. Someone did not care or was in haste.
Experiment. Maybe one brownie with it. Rest regular. You know, that would be smart. Gosh, there's so much to explore here. Let's go down first. Going down, down, down. Aha, look at this fresco.
Vulcan, the god of fire and metalworking. The Cyclops, a one-eyed creature helping Vulcan at the forge.
Can you imagine having one eye and then getting a splinter into it from, like, smithing? It sucked so much. Oh. Alright, apparently down here, there was only that one fresco. Area 2, the pits.
I don't need the ropes for now.
Ah.
I don't need the ropes for now.
This is where he was being lowered by the ropes. Ooh, archaeological tools.
Excavating tools, a bucket, shovel, and brush.
Why were they down there? I mean, I'll take the spade apparently, but okay. All right, so we know that we have ropes there for if we need it. Can I use the spade on the fresco? No. All right. Make brownies and blend a tablespoon of melted peanut butter. Oh. Oh, dang. That is smart. I love peanut butter. I was talking earlier that I haven't had peanut butter cookies in a long time. I should make some. Area 5, temple. And that was smart because I made at one point some brownies, but I had put like Reese's peanut butter chips in them.
Construction hooks.
I like your idea a lot more. And be a lot cheaper too. Oh, look at that booty.
Neptune, the god of the sea. It is a statue of Minerva. It is a broken statue of a bull.
Yeah, I like this. You learn different cooking techniques from people. Things that you don't think about adding to your own recipes. I go on a site called All Recipes, and usually when I look at things there, I'll always read through the comments to see what other people have done to the recipe to either, change the flavor or give warnings about certain ways that it should be cooked or stirred or so on.
door has been left.
Oh, yes. Oh no, this is a different cabin. That's the same setup. All right then. Oh my gosh, more reports. There's so many reports here. Oh god. Kelvin, Hobbs and you consider yourselves as being so smart and funny. I had a good laugh when you froze Miss Durkin's notes about the Arch of Hadrian in the ice. However, our thesis exams are just ahead, and as you are the so-called brain of your improbable duo, I have to warn you that my Gastrophet's model, the ancient Greek crossbow, and not the medical device to relieve constipated people, as you might have thought, is not to be touched, or else I'll have to inform Mr. Wormwood about everything you've done these past 2 years. Yes, 8 Hobbs tuna sandwich. How could you? Dear Lord Blackmore, the manager of the baths, Sir Gregory Pitkin, was quite a nuisance at the start when I arrived. After you stepped in, he became rather more helpful. Occasionally, people of his rank are not well suited to a work of such great magnitude. They lack the necessary vision. In a few weeks' time, I hope to bring good news to the Strand Lane baths. I am on the verge of discovering a major archaeological artifact. One that might be used politically by your party to demonstrate the strength of our ancestors, and fulfill the need to protect our empire from any present and future threats. Kind regards, Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Intriguing. So we have found... Okay. Pitkin's words. Pitkin feels rather uncomfortable postponing the public opening of the Roman baths because of Sir Rodney. He was angry because of this. Pitkin expects to receive much of value from Sir Rodney's research. The work will increase the bath's renown and popularity, which is why he agreed to extend it. The game just crashed. No. Alas. So the game has crashed. I am sad. I don't know how when the last autosave was, but it's the curse from the dig, it's true. Alright. But I suppose that's going to be as good of time to stop as any. Usually I only stream till about 10:30, which was like 20 minutes ago. Wife is home, so I guess I'll go say hi and so on. It was a sign. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. It's Lotus Official, Jezza Howl, DCLXV, Masu, Uchi, all for the follows. I appreciate you all following me. Hope to see you again. And Moggs for that raid. Zookeeper Chris for the sub. So you all have yourselves a fabulous, fabulous rest of your weekend. And as a reminder, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this upcoming Monday, we will continue along with our exploration. Hopefully we won't have too much to catch up on. I post my updates to my Twitter when I go live and all that good stuff. My random thoughts, as well as there's my Discord there as well, where we have all kinds of discussions like the recent update of the Xbox pricing to their gold, and then the fact that they went back on that and went back to the original pricing, so it is comparable to the PS Plus, amongst other things as well. Tails, thank you very much. You have yourself a great time as well. Let's see here. Oh, Zatron is online. You know what? I'll pass you all off to Zatron here. He's been with me for a long time. He was in a little bit earlier tonight as well. Let's see. Raid. Mr. Zatron. Ciao. So I hope that you all have yourselves a good night. And we will see you all later. Bye.